You spoke to Falcon a little bit, kind of discovered that he is a hunter of orcs in these parts. He doesn't appreciate their existence in this area. He finds them to be a bit of a menace. Although he's not troubled, and not troubled to the point where he's actually hung their heads in his trophy hall in kind of a show of defiance. As you kind of question him more about this, he did say he's noticed a few of their number kind of gathering a bit more, and he's noticed that not just orcs, but actually half orcs that seem to be kind of magic-y are also seemingly growing in numbers. He's not really worried at this point, hasn't noticed anything really scary, and he feels very well guarded in this like mini fortress that he's made out in the woods. But he lets you guys stay for free in his guest area for the night as you rested up and headed to the loggers camp, which you did in the morning. And as you arrived, kind of discovering things, you were almost immediately attacked by insectoid-type creatures called Ankhegs that erupted from the ground as you kind of approached. And scared off your ox who was carrying all of your supplies on the wagon. Vincent is now gone somewhere in the woods. Poor Vincent. You were unable to find him, but you were able to wrangle the cart back, fix it with a quick mending spell, and then get back into the adventure. As you defeated the Ankhegs and kind of surveyed the rest of the camp, you saw kind of a gnarly scene. There seemed to be, dissolved bits of tools and weapons and clothing, some bones, but no loggers. No one seemed to be here. They seemed like they were actually pulled underneath the soft earth by the Ankhegs to be eaten later. Uh, and as we discovered kind of a bit more, we decided to head for the only building that was still standing, which is kind of the main office building of this camp. And as you entered the building, you were yet again onset by an Ankheg, which we're going to pick up where we left off and go right into combat. So I need everyone to roll initiative for me. And again, the way to do that in the chat is to do !check space initiative.
Oh my gosh.
Love it. Nailed it.
Yeah, I'm going last.
Almost certainly.
Wait, you said !check space initiative?
Yep.
I didn't know you could go negative.
You can. It doesn't really matter. 0 is the lowest you can get, but yes, you can technically roll negative. All right. Torin got a 14, and I'm going to roll for Seducius in this as well, just a heads up. Zendri got an 8. And then Flux got a... Did I see Flux? 19, nice. All right.
And I'm in the front, so I'm like...
Nailed it. And then Seducius... Seducius got a 7. But let's check our Ankheg here. Insert creature. Alright, this guy's pretty big and beefy, and he's right in front of you, ready to attack here. But I think, yep, Flux, that does put you up first.
Is it another one? What is it?
It's another one of those same creatures. Big, kind of pincherous. Seems to be a lot in this area, which is odd. But Flux, it is your turn first. What would you like to do?
Alright, I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go at it with that long sword.
Yeah, hit it. All right, roll to hit. So the way to do that again is in your chat, #attack, !attack space longsword.
Hashtag got it.
Hashtag nailed it. And then just kick 1. Yep.
Bray.
All right, nice. I think that's 16 hits for sure. I'm pretty certain. Yeah, 16 hits, and you do 9 points of damage. Nice. Nice big hit on this guy. He's pretty tough. You can feel as you kind of cleave through that chitinous armor. You're starting to chip at it, and it does feel some pain from it, but it's thick and tough and still standing in front of you. Oh, and don't forget to roll your Hunter's Mark damage. So !roll space, I think 1d6 at your level. I might be wrong. Let me double check.
Roll space 1d6.
Yeah, 1d6. All right, it's okay. 10 points. We get an even number on that one. Nice little add. And it does still have Hunter's Mark on it too, so don't forget. But that will bring us to Torin. It is your turn, sir. You are outside this room. You can't quite see the creature, but you can hear and assume as you hear fighting and violence inside that it's probably something gnarly.
Great. I guess I should let's just do it now. I'm gonna turn into a dire wolf.
Okay, yeah, do it. So you transform into a dire wolf, and what do you want to do as a wolf?
I am now going to attack. It looks like. Crap, where'd it go? It can use bite.
So go ahead and roll to hit. That's going to be a +5 to hit. So do exclamation point roll 1d20 +5.
18.
Nice, so that definitely hits. Go ahead and roll your damage now. So you can either take the average, which is 10, or roll 2d6 +3.
I'll take the average.
Cool. So we'll take 10 points of damage. That one really got it in there as you sink your teeth into one of its kind of like legs, kind of like shooting around. It does. You see some blood start to come out of this thing. And I'm gonna actually get you in the building as well since you're in there. I would say probably one more of you can fit in that building easily without having to get past anyone else or trying to find another entrance. But that gets us to Zendri. It is your turn.
I'm gonna try and hit him with my crossbow from where I'm at.
Yeah, I think that's possible. Go ahead and roll to hit.
What do I type?
With the crossbow, do exclamation point attack, space in quotes crossbow.
Is there like a legend for all the things we.
DMs. Oh, that's okay. Just hit one.
Which one were you looking for? Type the number or blah 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 blah.
Nice. So that definitely hits. And it does 4 points of damage on there. Cool. Nice. Another big hit. This dude's starting to look pretty bloodied and beaten up. Seems like you're starting to overwhelm him pretty good. But that'll bring us to Seducius. Seducius. What would Seducius do in this moment as he ponders these giant creepy bugs that he's seeing?
Get up around it.
Everyone's still feeling pretty good on health, I think. So 25 less, back to full. Torin's a little low. I could save that though. I think he's going to use one of his buffs here and cast Bane on this thing. So they need to make charisma. Oop, I left my dice. They need to make charisma saving throws. Let's check this charisma saving throw. That's probably going to be a failure. Yeah, that's a failure. Let's roll d4. Okay, cool. So this thing is affected by this kind of like ominous song that Seducius kind of whips out, starts playing on his lute. I don't have a bass to do the Craig, but I'll try my best. Kind of does like a ba-dow, and you see this creature kind of like get a little dizzy, and he will basically anything he tries to do, he has to subtract 1d4. So any possible hits, he reduces some possibility of that. But that'll end Seducius' turn. He's just going to kind of chill outside. I'd say he moved a little bit just to kind of see. But that will bring us now to the Ankheg. And then deciding between the two characters that hit it, he's going to go for the one that hit it first, because that was the one that kind of triggered it. And he will attack Flux here. And he's going to attack with its bite attack, which is going to hit. He rolled 18 plus 5, so that definitely hits. Flux, you're going to take 10 points of damage.
What?
Actually, you're going to take 10 points of slashing damage and 3 more points of acid damage from this creature.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. Oh my. Yeah.
Boo.
You are also considered grappled as it's kind of like hanging on to you, so it's like you cannot move out of this space. until you try to
Yay.
break that grapple. So just a heads up, you're kind of held back. You're not restrained. You can still move like your hands and stuff,
Yeah.
but you are kind of being held in this thing's big claw, or its big maw.
Cute.
That'll end its turn though, and that's gonna go to Celeste. It's now your turn.
Yeah. Remind me how do I determine which of my attacks have like a big radius? Or is there
Yeah,
something
great
on here
question.
that tell me that?
So if you look on like your spells, is probably the easiest way to see it.
Mhm.
And you like as an example, let's look at one that does. You see like burning hands. If you
Yeah.
kind of go in the column, so time, range, hit, effect, notes. In the
Yeah.
notes area, you'll see that it says like 15 foot and then the shape of a cone. So that says it's
Okay.
a 15-foot cone. Others might have a sphere or a box. So those are kind of how you know
Okay.
it's got some space.
Okay. Like if it just okay. So let me. So if I'm under attacks under action and I do like fire. Well, I guess firebolt is too far away, right? It's 120 feet range, so it's probably not going to be a good attack to use from this close.
Oh no, you're
Right
fine
there.
on that. The only issue with range is if you're like right up on top of it.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
anything more than your immediate zone, you're fine.
Okay. And so the notes say V/S. Is that
That basically means that that's telling you how you cast the spell. So it means you actually need to be able to talk and you need to be able to move your hands. It means there's a verbal component and a somatic component, like some kind of movement.
got it?
You might
Okay.
also see an M, and that means you have to have material components. But
Mm.
you chose instead of a component pouch a focus. So as long as you have that focus with you, you can cast spells, as long
Okay.
as like a cost isn't involved.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I'm gonna do a firebolt then.
Cool. So go ahead and roll to hit on that, or you can do in the chat a
Yeah.
exclamation point cast space in quotes firebolt.
Firebolt. Ah. There we go.
Yeah, so that will miss.
Dang.
So you kind of firebolt goes out, goes wide. Anything else you want to do on your turn? Any bonus actions or movements?
No, I mean I can't get in there, so I'm good right now.
Okay. That will bring us then to Flux. Back to your turn, my friend.
Okay. So I can't really do a whole lot in terms of like weapons. It's more casting spells at this point because
You can
the
still try to
way.
hit. You're just
Yeah.
grappled. So
Mhm.
you
Okay.
might suffer disadvantage. If you want to try to get out of the grapple, it'll be a strength check to see. But that would count as your action. So you want to be able to get out and then attack again.
Okay. Let me actually try to get out then. Let me see if I can get out of his way because I don't want to risk it.
Okay. So go ahead and roll a strength check. We'll see if we can get out of that. You don't. You don't. So you're still kind of inside of this dude. If you want any bonus actions or anything else, you can still do that, but no other actions at that point.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So that'll bring us back to Torin. You are still a dire wolf. What would you like to do, sir?
I will. Can I move around it to like the side where the corner is?
You can probably well, not sneak around, but you can probably move around this way.
Yeah, I was thinking like right there, and then
Okay.
attack them from that side.
Yeah, 100%. Go ahead and do your roll to hit again. So 1d20 plus 5 since you're a wolf and not Torin right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do I have to hit? Let's roll.
So you miss on. Oh nope, 14. Yep, that hits. So that just hits actually. So go ahead and now roll your damage. So you can either take the 10 again or do the roll.
Yeah, I'll do 10 again.
Cool. So this thing's really starting to bleed. You kind of just hang it on that same leg that you've been biting and gnawing on. You just dig a little bit deeper and push your jaws together, getting some sense of bloodlust out of you as a direwolf, I think. Anything else on your turn?
No, that should be it.
Do me a quick favor as well, Torin, while you're up there. Roll a perception check for me.
Is it hash? What is it? Roll?
Exclamation point,
exclamation
check,
point,
space,
yeah.
perception.
Oh, check. I forgot. An 8.
8. You can't make it out, but it does sound like there is some noise coming from the room kind of above you guys a bit, up to the north of smidgen. There's a
Okay.
door, so you can't quite see into it, but you can hear like a little bit of noise from up there. Zendri, that brings us back to your turn, though.
You took a sneak
Alright.
around through the other door.
Yeah. Can I?
What do you want to try to do?
Can I sneak in the other door?
You definitely won't be able to sneak, but you can try to get past
Well, oh yeah, that's like right. Are
Um,
we talking about the door that's directly to the right?
it. I'm talking about the door
Or
that
the left.
is
The
like
west
By
one, right?
me.
up here.
Closest one to me.
Yeah, on the left side. Oh,
Oh, you want to go around that way? Sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
can I get
Wait,
to
are
that
you
one? Do
are
I
you
have enough-
outside or?
She's outside
I
still.
feel like I'm so far away from that.
You could make it like right inside the building.
Okay.
You want to go
Do
there?
it, and I'm gonna hit him again with my crossbow.
Cool. Do it. Roll to hit.
All right. Holy freaking moly!
Let's see what we get.
Where'd the chat go?
You were just typing it in a second ago.
It's not typing though. Why is my computer's been weird all day.
It's time to
Alright,
get one of those
exclamation
new
point.
ones. Exclamation
Okay.
point, attack, space, crossbow. In quotes.
Attack. And then number 1.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Cool, so that hits. You do 8 points of damage on this thing. And as you
Let's
land this
do it.
blow, I would like you to describe how it dies. Nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it. Yeah, I want it to like burst into dust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you kind of take aim with your crossbow as you go through, and you kind of settle in on your cat-like body, just absorbing the senses around you, and you're just like, poof, and you go right through its like back of its head, and it doesn't quite explode into dust because it's blood and guts, but it does explode, and there is just guts and gross everywhere. I actually, if that's the case, I need Torin and Flux to quickly roll a Constitution saving throw.
I was waiting for Adriana to go like this, like Thanos.
Snap.
Is that a roll or a check?
That's a roll. So it's a saving throw. So it's going to be exclamation point save space con C-O-N.
20, baby.
Nice. Not so nice.
Good.
So as this thing erupts, you notice that its blood starts to burn just a little bit, and then it burns even more. And you take 5 points of acid damage, sir.
Can I use that move?
You can't
don't know if
because you're a direwolf.
I'm a direwolf. Alright. I am taking 5 points of damage. I don't know how I track that though.
You just do it in your brain for right now,
Okay.
so you have it. Cool,
Maybe
but
it's not a
that
separate thing
creature
for him.
is dead, kind of lying in front of you. Zendri, go ahead and roll a perception check for me as well, if you could. It's also hard for you to make out, but you can tell there seems to be some noise coming from this top area.
Is it still my turn?
We're out of combat, actually, so you can go whatever order you'd like at this point.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Well, I definitely want to get in the building.
Cool.
Yeah, should we sneak through the door?
Yeah. Get in here.
Sneaky sneak. What about the left door? Should we check that or not?
Is that a door or is that like a fireplace or
thing.
something?
That to the far left is a fireplace. Yep, you see a chimney. It is
Oh, yeah.
empty.
Wait, what door are you guys thinking? I was thinking not that, like the thing above it. That goes outside and then there's one that goes inside.
Like the one inside, right? So we can,
You want to go inside? All right, let's do it.
yeah.
Cool. So you try to open the door and you notice it's not locked. The door handle turns, but you try to push it and it's not moving.
Uh-oh.
From that side, you can now clearly hear, since you press up against it, you hear, "Go away!"
Well, I think we
Sounds
need.
like our friend.
Let the door down.
I mean, go away. I'm scary. You shouldn't be here. Leave.
I'm gonna knock it down.
Roll an athletics check for me. Are you still a direwolf, by the way, or did you change back?
Yeah.
All right,
keeping it.
roll a
No,
athletics
Wolverine
check as a direwolf. So I think that's gonna be with your direwolf stats. Where are you, direwolf? Strength.
Haven't we learned our
obviously.
lesson from knocking down, just barging in?
So roll a d20, add 3.
Nope.
You are able to move it open a smidgen. A person can kind of fit through, although the door is not always open. Inside, you do see that there is a desk that was kind of pushed up against it, kind of barricaded. Now you can kind of see it. You could probably run in there now if you wanted to.
Yeah, I want to go talk to this dude.
So you.
Or maybe you guys should talk to him because I'm a direwolf. You might
Yeah.
scare him.
Yeah,
He
I'll
says
walk,
he's scary, so.
walk in and talk to him.
Cool. So Celeste, you go in. You do see the person described as Tybor Western, the half brother of Harbin, the town master. He is cowering on top of the desk, like doing everything he can to try to keep it in place. Clearly unsuccessfully so. And he's like, "Oh, thank God! It's not those bug things. Those things are terrifying."
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, we realize that. We've killed a few of them already.
Oh,
So
did you?
we're actually,
Okay, are they all gone? Because I'm not coming out of here until they're all gone.
well, how many did you see?
I wasn't counting. Just, I know there was a bunch. More than one? Less than 50?
Well, we've so far killed 3 so far. So
It's a great start.
yeah, but where's everybody else?
Well, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they're all dead.
Okay.
So,
well,
I'm not,
that is-
I hid in here. That's my job as the boss. Just make sure things keep going. So, here I am.
yeah. Well, we're actually here to see you. We actually came with supplies, but clearly it doesn't look like you're gonna need them anymore.
I mean, I'll keep the supplies. That's fine. Just, if you could just kill all the things around here, I'd really appreciate it.
I think we should probably head out of here and get you back to your brother.
No, I'm not leaving this place. I'm not leaving this room until all those things are dead.
All right, well, I guess we can go investigate and see, who's out there. But I think we're gonna need something in return for this because we're putting ourselves in danger.
What? Were you expecting more than what I was already going to pay you for the goods? That seems unfair.
Well, nobody said that there were gonna be giant bugs that were gonna try and attack us.
Listen, I'm just saying, you guys look tough. I'm sure you've already killed 3. It'll be fine. Just kill the rest and, take your stuff and go.
Well, you should take a look at my friend over here who's hurt pretty bad.
You know what? I'm on my last legs. The least you could do is sign the paper saying that you at least received the goods. That way, no matter what happens, we can get our money from your half brother.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to sign that for you guys. That sounds fine. I just want you to do it now, so I'm not stuck in here all day. I really have to go to the bathroom.
Well, it's safe to walk around in here right now. There's no more.
I'll get over in the corner, dude.
Nope, not gonna do that. Not until you can tell me they're all dead. Celeste, since you've been the one kind of talking to him this whole, just straight up roll a charisma check, just straight charisma. See if he shares anything else with you. So a little begrudgingly, but he does share. He goes, you should probably know if you're gonna help me with this stuff too. Well, we're not really supposed to be here. Neverwinter Wood isn't the best place to cut down trees. Apparently some of the locals didn't like that. So, if you happen to see any kind of like totems or witchcraft or anything that might be attracting these things, you should just kill it. You should just destroy it, and I'm sure it'll be fine then. I'm pretty sure that'll stop everything.
Oh, I mean, I don't remember seeing any totems or anything like that. Have you seen them around?
No, I just I saw some weird half-orc person come in, and she yelled at us. That's kind of when I ran in here, and then those things attacked. So.
Oh, did you see her transform into anything? Because we came across one earlier.
I didn't. She was casting a spell though, so maybe she did after. I don't know.
Okay. Well, we can definitely check it out, but we're gonna need you to sign that paper real quick.
I'm not signing anything till it's done, because then you guys could just leave.
All right. Well, we'll go scope it out here.
So are you leaving the room, or anything else you'd like to ask of Tybor here?
Let's go scope out the place so we can get this signed.
Yeah. Maybe we can go out the door to the left and then up the north side. We go around the other side of the house.
So you guys kind of start to explore a bit more of this area, and as you go north, you do see the river that kind of flows eastward back towards the coast that you remember going to, and you see a dock, kind of like a little jetty that kind of leads out to the river there. All the ropes that were there are cut off. There are no boats or any ferries there any longer. Doesn't seem to be anything really of value in this particular area up north.
All right, let's go a little east then, I guess.
You want to go eastward?
I see what you did there.
Nailed it. So you start kind of going off to the east as well. And you do see that there are some of these buildings kind of on a bit of an escarpment that looks to be like rock. It's not kind of earthy, it's rock. But on the top there are a couple of torn down what looks like probably were wooden cabins. The only thing still standing there are chimneys, the stone chimneys that were in that space.
Was that east or west?
Oh, that's west. Sorry, you wanted to go eastward. My fault. So you do see to the east the campsite
Oh, that's okay. That's
I
where you
forgot
kind of
about
came
that.
from.
Okay.
yeah.
So just to kind of give you like the full view, because you've walked pretty much all around this space.
Yeah, we did.
There are a couple of things that you could see. So you see the campsites over to the east, and what you discovered there were more Ankhegs. You kind of pulled most of them out that you can tell, and you did see the remains of supposedly killed loggers, although you didn't see any bodies. In the center is another cabin that has been destroyed, along with a still present chimney.
All right. Well, yeah, I guess we might as well go west since we've already looked at most of the stuff, in most of the campgrounds. So.
And that, I mean,
So as you
what
kind
are
of
we trying to find again? A letter?
We're trying to see if there's any more of the Ankhegs, right?
Just more of those things? Okay.
yeah, you got to find some way to stop them from coming. Is kind of
Okay.
what Tybor hinted at. He suspects someone did
Got
this
it.
to him.
Huh.
So as
We
you
got
guys
this.
investigate those cabins, I'd like whoever's kind of investigating the area to roll an investigation check for me.
Yeah, I can roll it.
Okay. So as you kind of investigate this area, you get a pretty good look through. Pretty much everything here has been destroyed or burned. It's been burned to the ground, which is strange. You didn't notice the Ankhegs using fire of any kind.
Yeah.
But as you investigate the rest, nothing else seems here. What you do notice most of all is the ground below you is quite quite like it's rocky. And you don't notice any of the same tremors or concerns you were feeling as you were walking around the earth and the ground. So this area seems to be safe from Ankheg incursion.
Yeah, but clearly something burned these places down.
Mhm.
Well, I almost want to go back and ask. What was it? What was his name? Tybor or
Tybor, Tibor.
oh Tybor? I almost want to ask Tybor what if he can explain to us a little bit about how maybe these places burned down, considering these little Ankhegs don't have fire.
Well, like I said, we weren't I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get anyone in trouble, so if you could just not get me in trouble, I'd appreciate it. But like, we're not really supposed to be in this area. It's rather dangerous, and we might have angered the locals. So I'm pretty sure they might have maybe put a small curse on us to get us out of here. I'm not 100% sure, But you guys can just take care of it. Just take care of it.
Yeah. Are you talking about the half orcs?
Yeah. Yep, those.
Oh. And when you say like they might have put a spell, like did they actually come here and put a spell on you?
Yeah, they definitely did. They definitely did that.
Okay. All right. Well, do you know where we might be able to find them?
No idea. I think whatever is happening here. They seem to be more and more of those monsters show up. So I need to know why they're showing up, and I need you to get rid of them for good.
Yeah. Well, we've looked around. We haven't really found anything.
Well, I don't feel super satisfied. So.
Is there something that you know that you're not telling us?
Roll a persuasion check.
Uh-oh.
No, I told you everything I know.
That's it. Okay.
Gosh dang it. I think Gregory is having an issue.
She lost my sauce.
Sidisius is way lost in the sauce. He's just got to make sure he's got on one of his sleeves without a shirt. That's the.
There he comes.
Hey! Sidisius is wearing his wonderful cloaked hoodie. I love it. It's perfect.
What up, though?
What up?
It's so cold in his house now that he's not used to it.
It is cold.
Got that AC set up.
Yeah, blasting it.
He's trying to get his build back to normal.
Yeah. I mean, did we investigate that top right campground last time? I can't remember if we ended up walking.
You did. Just so I mean, this should pretty much spell it out. The only place on this map that you have not investigated, since you've kind of checked everything out and your characters would know, is this area right here.
Oh, right in the middle.
Blue.
Yeah, you decided to run right past that, go to the house.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess that's where we're going.
Cool.
We'll investigate that.
Absolutely. So you go into that area, and you do notice that the only thing that seems to be standing, just like the other cabin, is the chimney. So you kind of look in the chimney, and it's pretty easy. You can see it quite thoroughly. That there is 13 little stick figures kind of like tied together, lashed together, almost kind of like voodoo-esque, just chilling in that space. And what you can kind of see about them is they seem to be dipped in some type of blood. And they are kind of inscribed with tiny little lightning bolts. Zendry, and Flux would definitely know this because you rolled it on your last one when we were at the Tower of Storms. The symbol is the symbol of Talos, the evil storm god, which is the boar creature shapeshifter. Also had that symbol on her.
I think we need to destroy those voodoo things. Or at least show it to him and have him watch us destroy them.
Yeah, I mean, can we take them out of the chimney?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're just kind of like set in there in the soot, in the dirt.
Yeah.
So you pick them up and take them. As you pick them up, can you roll a religion check for me, Sles? As you're just kind of feeling these a little bit more. Yeah, so you definitely, like, you pick them up, you immediately feel this sense of, like, just gross. It definitely feels like whatever these things were meant to represent, they were meant to bring on ill omens to whoever they were carved for. You get the sense that this is what was attracting the Ankhegs.
Yeah, I would say let's we're gonna carry it over to Tybor, and we'll destroy it in front of him so he can sign our paper and we can get going.
So you bring him over to Tybor. Tybor kind of see, as you kind of go back into the door and push in, and you can see he's like, okay, that definitely looks like some witchcraft. So I think we should just get rid of that stuff. That's definitely what should happen.
All right, how do we destroy this thing?
I don't know. Fire is usually a good choice for most of this evil stuff.
Fire. All right, let's do it.
Burn it.
Who's burning it?
Got fire.
Yeah, I can do firebolt on it.
Ooh.
Hit it.
Cool. So you cast firebolt on it. Pretty easy. You see these things just go up in smoke. And since you kind of had the check earlier, you do feel that sense of just like evil dissipate away.
Yeah.
And Tybor finally kind of breathes a bit of a relief and is, awesome, yeah, that did the trick, guys. Thank you so much. If you just want to leave the goods and head back to town, I'm sure my brother will take care of you guys. So thanks. Need to get to work here. Need to definitely get to work here. So.
Sign the paper.
Oh right, yeah, of course. I'll sign that for you right away. And he does sign it. Received in full.
Is there any of the message or anything you want us to tell your brother?
Nope, he's a good dude. Thanks for the help, and see you guys later.
All right. Peace out.
So where do you guys want to go to here? You can try to head back to town. Let me see if I can get the map brought up so you see it. If I could spell, that would be helpful. Sword. Ghost. Let me just switch that. So now that you kind of feel pretty good about leaving this area, kind of wrapping up what you've got, you are, just to kind of give you a bit of space, you are about here-ish. Falcon's Lodge is about here-ish. And you need to get back to Phandalin, which is down here. So how do you want to get there?
Do we need to go see that guy again? Aren't we supposed to do something with him? I forget.
Falcon? You don't need to.
Yeah.
You just know it would be a safe place.
We bought the wine already?
Yes, you did get the wine.
Okay.
They bought wine.
You can go riding.
So
I think last time we talked about maybe like having him seeing if he would go hunting with or something, right? I think.
Yeah,
nothing crazy. Okay.
He did decline that. So basically, your two ways of travel are either follow the river and come down this way, get back to the high road, or you can just cut through the woods, try to get it back that way, which could be a little dangerous. You guys kind of know that as you learned last time. Or you could go back to Falcon's Hunting Lodge, get back to the main path, and then come back down.
What time of day is it?
It's still relatively early in the day. You've got a decent amount of daylight. Yeah, I would say it's probably about, based on when you left Falcons and how this was pretty close, it's probably only about noon, maybe 1 p.m. at most. Getting to Phandalin is, like, at fastest about 40 miles if you cut down. So either way is going to take you, you're going to need a rest somewhere. If you can manage to get through the woods straight down, you won't have to rest in the woods.
I say we go along the river. Through the woods.
Nailed it. Got it.
Let's go back the way we came. I'm just kidding. I don't care. Whatever way you guys want.
Just one quick note. Again, Vincent is lost. I don't know if any of you wanted to try and recover Vincent still.
I was just about to ask about that.
Vincent is gone.
No.
Which way would we go to get him technically?
When you lost sight of him, he did go east, kind of back the way you came. So that's an option as well.
I don't think we need to bring that thing back. I don't know. Last time we didn't bring something. Last time we didn't bring the two dwarves back.
Yeah, we still have the cart with all the stuff in it, right?
You don't have the stuff in it. You left the stuff, but you can take the cart. You can't take the stuff though. That's the whole thing you were supposed to bring to Tybor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Better go get that ox in. I thought I was carting all this stuff in it.
You were trusty steed.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you were a riding horse. So just a heads up, until you take a rest, you're not going to be able to recoup another wild shape.
Okay.
Well, I guess we need to go
find rest now.
You can. There doesn't seem to be any combatants around you if you wanted to rest up now. It just would be.
Yeah, I need a rest too because I'm on like 12. I'm at over less
Maybe
than half
we take a
my
quick
life.
rest and then make the decision.
Cool. So we can take a. I just want to double check a couple things. Torin. how do you get your wild shape back? Do you need a long rest or a quick rest?
I think it's short when I read it, but let me double check.
Yeah, so per short rest. So if you wanted to take a short rest, you could use some hit die to get some health back instead of taking a long rest. So stay here for an hour or so. Do you guys want to take a short rest while you're here?
Yeah.
Cool. So I think this is a new mechanic. I don't know if we've done short rests yet. So
No.
everyone kind of has that. Basically, the way to do it on your character sheet, if you look up at the top, you'll see short rest. And then it basically gives you an option to like use hit die. And it says like 1d8 plus 1. You can roll a d8 and add 1 to it, as an example for Torin, and that's how much health you'll get back. You can choose to use one of them, two of them, all of them. Just note you don't get hit dice back until you take a long rest. If you don't think you're going to take another short rest in this adventure, in this day, then you can use all three right now. If you don't think you need that much, you don't need to. It's kind of up to you how you want to do it. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that. And then while we're taking a short rest, since you're there for an hour, now it might be a good time to chat a bit with your colleagues here and decide if you guys want to go over anything or discuss your next steps.
Hey, Nate, on mine it says recover and it says reset maximum hit point changes during this rest. On mine for short rest.
For short rest? That might be actually one of your character abilities. Let me check. Because I think that's actually part of your retribution thing, but let me triple check for you.
And
no.
What I rolled is the hit points I get?
Yeah, correct. So you'd roll a 1d8 plus 1. Flux, you do have hit die. So you'll see recover first, but if you look down a little bit, you'll see that. You're not going to hit recover everything. That's if like the DM says you do it on this particular short rest.
Oh, gotcha.
In this case, it's not. You're still going to be using hit die.
I just do a 1d8 plus 1.
For you, it's 1d10 plus 1.
Yeah, sorry, 1d10 plus 1.
Unless you'd like to do more, depending on how you're feeling.
I rolled a 6, and only was down 3, so I'm back to full.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
And then I got 9 with the plus 1.
Cool. So go ahead and update your stuff. And like I said, friends, you've got a bit of time if you want to speak with each other a little bit, go through anything together.
Caduceus, how you been, my man?
Yo, tell me what just happened.
Yo, we just killed this freaking thing you were scared of, dude. One of those ant crawler spiky thingies, dude.
Oh, good.
You should have saw, dude. We were smashing it, bro.
Did you eat it, Torin?
What?
Did you eat one?
I bit it really hard. I was a dire wolf and freaking went ham on it. And then, and a dire wolf, dude. And then Xandri went ham on it too and almost killed it.
Dang. That's dope.
Dude.
Good job.
Nice. And we found this little old man that was super annoying, and then we're here.
And so we need Vincent. And where's the cart of stuff?
Through the forest somewhere.
So the cart.
We have the cart itself, but the stuff we gave to Harbin's brother. He signed the papers so we can take it to
right.
Harbin.
So we either need the ox or I can go full horse and I can take it back. I don't know if he wants the ox back. We didn't really.
He said he wanted that back.
Yeah, I think we need to go find that ox because last time he shorted us when we didn't bring everything back. So
yeah, I feel like we won't get our gold if we don't bring the ox back. And we have that dude wine still, or did Torin drink it?
You do still have the wine. The wine is still available.
We still have the wine, my dude.
All right. Yeah, I think we need to find the ox. We need to find Vincent.
How did that?
So it's been about an hour or so. You've had a chance to kind of rest up, get a little bit of your good feelings back up and running. And so you head back into the forest from which you came, hoping to be able to track down Vincent. Who's kind of leading the charge on this search for Vincent?
Because I'm still recovering.
I can jump out there.
And are you still a direwolf, by the way? Well, actually, you would have gone out of it because you would have been down for an hour. So.
Because I short rest. Yeah. Okay. So I think I'm back to.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a survival check for me. See if we can find this thing. And then while you're rolling a survival check, I'd like everyone else to roll a perception check.
What is that a roll or is that a check one?
That is a check one.
Oh man. I got all excited after I hit enter. I saw 23, but I realized that was injuries. That wasn't mine.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I always like coming to the back, I guess.
Okay, Torin.
Let's go, baby.
So as
That's what I
you're
said today.
back in the kind of in the forest proper, really kind of had to go a few ways. You did see the kind of the cart tracks through the dirt that kind of crashed along a tree, and now that you're really taking time to kind of notice, you do see a few broken branches where Vincent kind of took off into the woods, and you can follow that area pretty easily. It's a couple mile path as you sit there and you kind of see the trees go around you. Zendri, you notice that the rest of this area seems pretty calm. Doesn't seem to be anything super dangerous. You feel pretty confident there are no more Ankhegs or anything of trouble in this space. Torin, I'd like you to roll another survival check for me, as you guys have walked on about a mile or so.
Oops, got the wrong one.
Servial.
We're in table 1 chat, right?
Say that again?
We're in table 1 chat.
No, you're in LDNR chat. LDR D&D chat.
Oh, whoop.
Whoops. Yeah, I figured I'd make a separate like campaigns group in case any
Oh,
of the
there
other
you
folks
go.
were in there. And that way we have like a running history of all of our stuff.
No.
I
rolled a
like
10.
redid it, and yeah, it like somehow it knew it was in it.
Yeah.
I messed up the first time. That's interesting.
Yeah, it does spell check, so it knows. So yeah, it removes it. You do notice that there seems to be a bit of a trail going back up north as you kind of gone a little bit west and south, and it seems to loop back up north towards the river. Do you want to head toward the river, or you want to kind of give up and just leave?
Well, wait, you said the footsteps are towards the river?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
track. Sorry, the oxen
I feel like I'm
tracks. that
playing
you've been able
Oregon
to
Trail right now. Yeah, let's go.
find. So you do go back up towards the river. Roll one more survival check, and I need everyone else in the group to roll a perception check again.
You said perception or survival?
Torin rolls survival, everyone else perception. Because you're kind of
Okay.
looking at behind you just to see if anything else is mean to you.
Oh yeah.
17, baby.
Ooh.
Oh, dang, you hit him with the 22. Dude.
Nice, nailed it. Okay, so everything else seems fine. You're
On
noticing some
22.
movements, but you're able to kind of go through the woods without too much trouble. You do actually make it to the river, and at the kind of mouth of the river is Vincent drinking kind of from the water, just lapping up, trying to be a little calm. He's like his fur is lathered and sweaty. He's been running. He like hauled butt to get here because he was terrified. But he seemed to calm down at this point. He's kind of up there. Who rolled a 22? Seducius? Seducius, as you kind of start to approach with the rest of your party, you notice in the river, kind of near near Vincent, you do see a bit of a shape in there kind of start to form.
Okay. Hey guys. Amazing we saw Vincent, but I think I see something in the water. I'm just gonna say it. I'm not the best fighter, so someone wants to go first and check out that thing, but I think we might be in for some trouble here.
I think that's Torin. Torin or Flux, right? Those are our tanks.
Torin.
Are you
Don't
trying
need to
to
jump up.
check out the shape in the water, or are you trying to get Vincent? What's the game plan?
I have a bad
If we
feeling.
save Vincent, just get out of here, dude.
I mean,
Let's get Vincent. Let's go.
Vincent, come here, my man.
Well, wait. One of us can talk to him, can't we?
Someone I
Torin?
think does have speak to animals. I think it's Torin.
Yeah, I can talk to him. Vincent, what do you see out there?
How are we gonna do this? Animal handling. Well, you can talk to him. So we're gonna do a persuasion check. And
Nate, can you talk like Mr. Ed right now?
Yeah.
I actually don't have like Mr. Ed's voice in my brain. I don't know if I know what he sounds like.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
What does he say? Like, hello? What's the guy's name that he says hi to?
Wilbur.
Wilbur. Yeah.
Hi, Wilbur. It's probably as much as I can do. Right.
Hello, Wilbur.
It's good to see you today. So Torin, I'll give you a choice. You can either roll an animal handling check or a persuasion check, whichever one you feel like you'd be better at in this regard.
Oh.
I already rolled persuasion, so I'll just keep it, I guess.
So he kind of looks back and he's like, "Oh, it's you guys." Kind of looks back and he does turn.
Yeah.
Kind of come back to you.
We're getting forky, dude.
You guys okay? I was really worried about you guys.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. You ran away.
We're doing great, dude.
I
What
was-
happened to you?
I ran off from those things. I thought they were gonna kill me.
I need you to sack up, dude. No more baby stuff, dude. Stick with us. We need you.
Yeah, you're right. Kind of walks back up. Thanks for noticing me, guys. I'm really glad you came back. And like walks back up to Torin, kind of like nuzzles in a little bit. As he leaves the beach, you see the shape in the river kind of coalesce into just a jaw that just goes whoosh, and it just missed Vincent as he like goes back into the water. You do get a sense it might have been a crocodile or something that moved too quick. You're not sure, but you were able to get Vincent off of the shoreline in time, so he didn't get eaten by these creatures. And as he kind of notices this, you see Vincent look back and he goes, "Well, sometimes that happens." And he like walks back up with you guys as you strap him back into the cart. So where would you like to go from here? You can continue back over to Falcons, rest up. You can cut south, or you can again follow through the river. You really haven't gone too far to where you were able to find him pretty quick.
Where are we on the map right now, Nate?
You're kind of like in between. So if you look at the two top green dots, you're kind of in between those two.
Okay.
And if you click on the stream, it should make it a little bit bigger if you want to see it more.
Yeah, I have it bigger.
I'm definitely leaning towards the river, the route we haven't gone, especially because there might be something new that we might be able to see on our way back. But what do you guys think?
I'm into that. Let's get away from this crocodile.
Yeah.
So you can go along like the high road over there.
Yeah.
I think that's the river, right?
Yeah, you can take the river, and you can like get off at the river at whichever interval you want. If you want to go all the way through to Neverwinter and just kind of jump down.
Well, and I guess, are we just walking along like the shore of the river, or
pretty much. Yeah, you'd have to try to stay kind of close because it it's dense. It's in the woods enough where you can probably find a safe path right on the coastline or the shoreline. But you probably as soon as you got out of the woods would probably want to cut down to save some time and try to avoid a big city like Neverwinter. That might be kind of tough with the carts and you're not sure where you would stay.
Do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with going along the river.
Yeah, I'm into that.
So you do take the river down. The journey does seem pretty safe. This area is frequently passed by boats. You do see a few boats and ferries kind of log off. A few logs kind of start going through, so that you get the sense that there are other loggers and stuff using this river. You manage to get out of the tree line pretty quickly following this path because it's relatively clear closer to the shore. So I'd say it takes you maybe 3 or 4 hours to get outside of the tree line and into that first area where the river is just kind of in this lower grassland. Do you guys want to continue down, or do you want to kind of continue southward?
I mean, I kind of like is that the line still that you drew earlier?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of. Yeah, I think we can beeline it for the town.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because we don't have to go to Neverwinter for anything, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Let's. I agree. Let's beeline it down.
Cool. So you start kind of walking down this direction. I would like everyone. We'll see how this goes. I would like everyone to roll a perception check for me.
Hey, double
Dang
digits.
it. 6.
So Sless and Seducius, as you're kind of walking through, you're not really noticing much. It's kind of a boring trip. The sun's out. You're like, whatever. But off in the distance, you do notice a strange mound that seems oddly unnatural. It's not very tall, but the top is very flat. There's no way like a natural hill just ends flat, and you can just make out like little white shapes on top of this mound. It's a little bit to your like south and west of you, a smidgen.
How tall is it?
Hard to tell from this distance. Roll a nature check for me. Actually roll a perception check.
Both of us, or just us?
Just less since he asked.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not sure how tall it is. It doesn't seem huge. It's just not like a mountain. It does seem like a hill. It's just strange that the hill ends so flatly, and it's not that far off. Like you'd probably say less than a half mile, maybe a quarter mile away. You can get there pretty quickly.
Yeah. Should we go check it out?
I'm worried, Seth, that it's one of those bug things that we dealt with back in the village. Does it look similar to you, or what? I don't want to step on that thing, get eaten.
No, I don't think so. And I think we also figured out why those bug things were why the egg what were they, Ankhegs? Yeah, why they were coming earlier, right? Because there was a curse put on that little village. So
yeah, you do feel pretty confident that the Ankhegs are probably not going to be an issue based on what you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right, yeah, dude. Let's go check it out.
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen?
Famous last words.
Famous last words.
So as you kind of head to check it out, you do start to see that this thing is a really strange kind of unnatural shaped hill. It's kind of this 30-foot high hill as you kind of get closer to it, and the top is way too flat to be natural. But now you can kind of see what those shapes are on top of it. Jutting from the grassy hilltops on each of the kind of areas, you see a row of 10-foot tall bone white rocks that kind of arc up a little bit, kind of towards the sky. They almost look like talons in a way, and they're kind of spaced out. I would like everyone to roll an insight check for me. Yeah, so everyone can notice as you kind of like walk up the top of this hill and check these things out. You can kind of tell that the shape of this hill almost looks like a dragon. And the stones that you're seeing kind of seem like they might be like the vertebrae or the spines of this dragon sticking out. Let's see if I can show you a little bit of what you're seeing here. So from the top, that's what it looks like. And it almost looks like a buried dragon here. And as you're kind of investigating, checking out this area, you notice behind you a figure. But this figure is unique. It looks like a half man, half horse creature. And he just kind of stares a little bit at you for a moment as he kind of investigates and kind of checks you guys out from afar. And he kind of prances some of his hooves on the floor, and you hear him, and he goes, "Hello, you there? Are you here to help?"
Boy.
It's a centaur?
Yeah.
I'm a centaur. My name is Xanth. I formerly would reside inside of the woods, but I've been driven from my home, and it's quite a devastating situation.
Oh, is your home close to here?
It was. It was off in the woods over there.
Oh, so what was it that drove you out?
The orc bastards have driven us from our home. They've been claiming this territory. Apparently, the dragon that's apparently resides lower in the lands has invaded and pushed them southward. They've teamed up with some of the half-orcs there.
How many of you are left?
As far as I know, it's only me now.
Wow. Go ahead.
Was it Zeth?
What's that?
Did you say your name was Zeth?
Xanth. Yes, Xanth. Xanth. Xanth.
Exam.
Wow, pleasure to meet you. So, if we were to help, what kind of help would you be looking for, good sir?
Well, I certainly would say there's probably two things that would mostly need to be accomplished. First, uh, if you could rid these evil orcs of their terrible rituals that they're doing near my home, I'd be willing to perhaps wait and give you a clue of this mound that you're investigating.
Hmm. What is this mound about? Can you give me like just a little hint?
Of course, it's a dragon burial site.
Huh.
Many people in this area call it the Dragon Barrow.
Huh. Is it good for killing dragons?
Well, there's rumors apparently that someone here killed this very dragon. They were interred inside its bones.
Huh.
So they may have the weapon they used to defeat such a creature, but I'm not certain.
Okay. Let me converse with my team.
Of course, I'm willing to wait. Any help that you can provide to rid me of this incursion would be incredibly useful.
Yeah. Well, real quick, how far away is your home from here?
What a great question. Let's look. Let me check real fast. Where did we go?
Okay, I say if we do this, we make this dude watch Vincent in the cart so that we don't have to worry about Vincent running off from all his freaking orders. It's the last thing.
It's a bit far, but like I said, I would wait, and I'm willing to give you clear directions to this area. It's probably at least a day's journey.
I mean, probably worth it for the dragon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, if we're gonna get any clues in terms of battling the dragon, I think we should.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good sir.
Yes.
I think that we would like to actually help you out, given our good nature and our quest to potentially kill the dragon that's been flying around this area. Maybe you've seen it. We do have one favor though to ask of you. Should we embark on this quest?
Of course.
Would you be so kind as to watch our ox thing, Vincent, while we go on this quest of yours? So we don't have to worry about, this possession of someone else is getting eaten or killed or something like that.
Of course. I'm happy to. Will you be venturing that way now, or will you be exploring the dragon burial ground in front of you first? I'm willing to wait for either.
Yeah, I think we should explore first, right? Since we're here already, and then we can have him show us where we need to go.
Well, didn't he say he wasn't going to tell us what it was until after we do the quest?
No, I will share any information that I have that I can possibly help.
Oh, well, yeah, let's explore then. Let's do it.
If you are going into the barrow, I would encourage quite a bit of caution. I've noticed some witch lights hovering around, glowing strange, phasing in and out of the earth.
What are witch lights?
Well, let's see if he knows what they are. He does not. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Okay. Has anyone else gone here recently and come out or not come out?
No.
No. Okay.
I wonder if they're the things that Tybor was referring to. He said he saw, cursing his town.
Maybe.
It's certainly possible that something here was causing this, but They don't seem to be human. They're just shapes, round lights. Definitely seems to be haunted, but I think that would be expected in a place like this.
Yeah, I think we still go in and check it out.
Yeah, I think we should just throw caution to the wind and go in there and see what we find. Is there anything that we should be looking for in particular while we're in there that you could think of, or just kind of explore around?
I've never been inside, so I don't know if I can give you any information. But I do.
Okay.
I would say I would advise caution inside. Those creatures, whatever they are in there, are almost certainly the spirits of the dead of some type.
Okay. Well, thanks for the heads up. You mind watching Vincent while we go in there?
Of course, da.
Thank you, good sir, and I hope we see you. I hope you see us again in one piece.
I as well.
Here we go.
I as well. My new friends. I'm so sorry. I never actually got your names. Do you have a guild or a team name that you go by?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Shit.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to come up with a team name.
The AP Club.
Sounds like a
There you go.
very adventurous club. And I'm glad to have met you. And Xanth kind of ways off as he kind of like trots over to Vincent, the ox that you have in your wagon, and he does stay around it. Seems to be good to his word. You guys go back on top of this kind of bar that you have confirmed it is a dragon burial ground. It's the middle of the day. You don't notice any of these lights at this point in time. Xanath kind of mentioned they only kind of came out at night as he saw them. But I would like, I would kind of like to know what you guys want to do here. So again, you see this hilltop shape. You see these stone areas around, and
I feel like my natural curiosity would be to go towards the stones.
Okay, roll a perception check for me.
Unless.
Yeah, are we able to tell how tall they are from here, or no?
Yeah, so like you're on top of this hill now. It's like 30-foot tall hill.
Okay, so we're on top by the stones.
And these stones are about 10 feet, like 10 feet jutting out into the air. So Seducius, you do see in the middle of one of the stones, kind of the main one right in the center. It does seem to be covering a bit of an opening, but the stone is almost kind of functioning as a plug. So you can't quite get into the opening until the stone is somehow removed. But this thing looks pretty huge.
Hey Torin, like I'm checking out these stones, and I kind of feel like there could be an entrance of some sort in the middle stone. Do you think there's any shape or any creature that you could do to maybe move it based upon your amazing strength, my friend?
My amazing strength.
If you say spider, I'm out.
Well, I don't know if they're more power or my guys have more strength. Any of these? I don't know how that works, to be honest.
I mean some of your creatures would. So like if you look at some, you like click through some of them. Like as an example, if you go to Dire Wolf and click on it, its strength score on that is pretty high. It's a 17, so it gets a +3. But like if you look at Elk, that's a little lower. Giant Spider, just for S&Gs, isn't that great? What would be coming?
Anyone dig?
Warhorse would be pretty strong. It's +18. You guys have rope. You could try to just pull this thing. You've got choices.
Okay.
Do you have like a burrowing animal? Like like a groundhog or something?
No, I have a badger.
Badger actually does burrow. It has a burrow speed.
Oh.
These guys at D&D, they think of everything.
Wow, they really do. Holy crap.
Does a burrowing speed?
It has a burrowing speed, specifically for digging and burrowing.
That's
Oh my.
Let's
really
do it.
nerdy, but I'm not mad at it.
I could either do that or go full send with some big animal. Let's see here. What do you think?
I think we dig into it.
All right. I will turn into. Where did it go?
So you're going to try and like dig a bigger hole or something?
Yeah. Trying to find
Okay.
it.
Yeah, because we could see a little bit of like an opening, right? But it's barely poking out from the ground, and the rest of it's underneath the ground.
It's almost like you can't quite see the bottom, but based on the stone shape that you were able to kind of suss out, Caduceus, it doesn't look like it's connected down. It looks almost kind of like a plug that could somehow be pulled over, pulled down, or removed. It's almost acting as a door.
Okay.
Yeah, so I could try to bust through it or climb under. What do you think?
I don't know. Personally, Torn, I feel like the way this looks, if it's kind of plugging up this hole, I don't know if burying it will. If we dig a hole around it, it might just fall deeper in and block this potential entryway. I think we should try and like push it over or just move it out of the way.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah.
How about I'm trying to do some new animals here. Let me turn into a lion.
Okay. Why not?
Lion?
I don't, where would you see a lion? Can you give me a good reason why Torin would have seen a lion in his existence here?
Shit. I don't know. Shit.
How many animals?
Technically, he can turn into an unlimited number of animals as long as he's seen them and they aren't outside of his like weight class.
Not like some like giant ass bear.
Your warhorse is pretty strong. Your warhorse has a strength of 18.
Yeah, I'll just do warhorse. That's the strongest thing I have, basically. Okay. It's like a big horse.
You shift into a warhorse, and he's like, as he neighs on there. Hello, guys. My name's Torin. And you guys kind of tie a rope around the top of the plug and over to Torin. Torin, as you pull this thing, I would like you to roll an athletics check for me.
I'm gonna give Torin a little slap on the butt, like, yeah, let's go.
Let's go, baby.
So as that, you're gonna go ahead and roll it, and you're gonna add 4 to your d20.
Oops.
And if you're helping him Seducius with that I'll let him go at advantage.
No, you can't do +4. We'll do that after.
Well, so that's not going to give you your full total. So one more time. You're going to exclamation point roll space 1d20 + 4, and roll it twice since I'm giving you advantage and take the higher number.
So actually type in +4 and that works.
Mm-hmm. If you do it with roll.
Oh. No dice found to roll.
Here, I'll see if I show you the command.
No dice, Grandma.
No dice, bruh. So it should look like.
Is there a space?
Here, I'll give it to you. 1d20. 1d20 +4. I think if you actually just type in ADV, it'll let you do it twice. I don't know if the ADV works. I might be wrong on that, but I think it is just ADV.
Oh, so I'm not typing athletics? Oh, I'm an idiot.
Right. Yeah, because when you do athletics, it's trying to do it off Torin, not off of your horse.
Oh, I forgot about that. Okay.
Here, I'll do it for you. I don't know why. It might have been the ADV. I'm not sure if that's what
you gotta take out the exclamation, or not the exclamation.
The quote, yeah. There you go. Cool, and that did it. So I did roll it with advantage for you. So you got 21, more than enough. So as you kind of like neigh and pull at this thing, it does topple over towards you, opening a 2-foot wide spiral staircase, kind of going straight down into darkness. There seems to be no light from there, but you do notice a small, very faint bluish glow, but it's very faint. But there doesn't seem to be any other light source within.
Can I, my little like light cantrip? Can I light that and start to kind of like peek in there?
Yeah, totally. What do you? So light is like you put light on something, like the tip of your sword or a piece of your armor or your loot. You cast it on something. What are you casting it on? What lights up?
I mean, yeah, I will. I'll take out my dagger from my inventory, and I will light that and hold it out in front of me to kind of peer into this hole.
So you look into that space, you can kind of look in there, and it does seem to be a kind of spiral staircase that leads down. Let me see if I can give you a little bit of it. Burp, 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 burp.
I like the way this thing looks.
Yeah, it's sick, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of see that spiral staircase leads down, and you can get a bit that it looks like it leads into a corridor that's kind of dug right into the earth, kind of within it.
Okay. Okay. Guys, I mean, kind of looking in here with my lit dagger, I see a staircase. Everyone game to go down into the darkness with me.
I'm down.
Let's do it.
Yes. Cool.
So as you all kind
Alright.
of walk into this kind of down the spiral staircase, that at first, like when you put light on there, that blue glow that you saw disappeared. But as you kind of reach the landing point, you see these 3 flickering blue orbs that kind of like space out and kind of twinkle at different points. So they all kind of like go into a certain corridor where they kind of sit and just kind of wait almost. And they just kind of blink a little, like kind of indicatively, like, "Hey, look at me! Hey, look at me!" So there's
Hey,
one
I
on
also
top,
have-
one to the left. Say that again.
Yeah. I also have dark vision too, which allows me to see 60 feet in
Yep.
the dark.
Yep. If
So-
you have dark vision, you can see in here up to 60 feet. But right now, as you're just like
Okay.
leaving the spiral staircase, that's a bit of what you can see. So just to give you a little bit more context, because here's what you would see. You do see several kind of passages you notice kind of lead out. The orbs, one goes that way, one goes this way, one goes this way. And I'll say everyone can see them, so I'd like everyone to roll a nature check.
Come on! Oh my gosh! This thing beats me tonight.
Okay, so Zendri, you know what these things are. These are what are called will-o'-the-wisps. And will-o'-the-wisps, if you would know, have a tendency to be malicious to travelers where they feel like they shouldn't be.
Like from Brave, the wisps.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, and I think the ones in Brave are quite a bit nicer than the D&D will-o'-the-wisps, though.
I was thinking of those. I love them.
Me too.
I didn't see that movie. I'm terrible.
Oh.
So you know these things are typically dangerous or typically hostile, although they tend to avoid people unless they're in a position where they feel like those people shouldn't be.
What did you say? What was the last part? Those people should what?
They tend to avoid people or confronting them directly unless they're in a space where they feel like those people shouldn't travel.
Gotcha. We just need to avoid them then and be peaceful.
Well, I guess we can go the other way, right? Because there's the path.
My thing is, I mean, Zendri's the only one who knows this, and like, I think I would be attracted to the blue lights. I'd want to go and be like, hey, I think we should follow these blue lights.
Yeah, I dig that. So I'm gonna give you inspiration, Seducius, for sticking to your character's kind of roleplay mechanic. So just remember you have inspiration, and any roll that you want to re-roll, you can. But you do follow this thing, and which one are you following? The one north, the one west, or the one south?
North.
Okay. So you start to head northward, and as you kind of walk in there, you notice this thing walks further into this hall, and you can see a pretty good portion of this hall now, and it does seem to kind of turn a corner that you can't quite see past, but it kind of goes further into the hallway. It hasn't been attacking you, just kind of been avoiding you, just kind of kind of blinking along the way, moving further and further away from you.
Yeah, I mean, guys, like I think this thing is trying to show us the way to something, so I think we should keep following it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So as you follow it,
Let's
are
be
you
brave.
so I know as well, Seducius, are you kind of going quickly, or are you just like trying to be a little bit more cautious? What's the game plan?
I mean, right now, Caduceus is a little bit enchanted by the blue glow, so I'm not being cautious. I'm just kind of walking at a normal pace, trying to keep up with this blue glowing orb.
Yeah, so the blue glowing orb does kind of go into a space, and you see that it goes into now a bigger chamber. And all of this place is like an earthen construction. It's earth ceiling, earth wall, earth floors. And it kind of goes into this chamber and disappears a bit about. But I am going to need you to roll. Yeah, you are actually not going to roll based on that. So you, as you're kind of chasing this thing, kind of trying to follow it along, you feel the floor give way right before you enter this chamber. And as you kind of fall, you see that you've fallen into kind of this 10-foot pit. Unfortunately, with swords on the bottom that you've landed on and impaled yourself on. So let's see how bad this is going to be for you.
Oh.
Not great.
Let's go.
Should have listened to the ladies.
Well, I didn't know what you
Two.
should have told me to stop. Should have stopped me from making bad decisions.
You don't listen.
I did. I
Eight,
said that we
6.
should avoid them.
So as you fall on this thing, you feel yourself skewered by 2 of these swords down there, just poking through you, and you take 12 points of damage total, some from the fall, some from the swords. And you were in this thing, and as you were in this thing, this blinking orb now starts to turn and become quite violent, and now it begins to attack you. So I need everyone to roll initiative.
Hello.
You're welcome. Also, I'm in this pit with 2 swords sticking out of me. Help me, God damn it!
And I'm gonna move you guys. So Seducius kind of ran up this way and fell in the pit here. You guys are behind
18
him.
the
I'm
leader.
like out of commission in this pit.
I won't say you're out of commission. You're not dead or unconscious, right? But you
No,
are
but, like,
you are trapped
I
in this
can
pit.
fight.
Yes.
So I can't really fight. I'm in a pit.
You can fight. You're just in pain and like on swords, but you can still fight. You can see these things above you.
Okay.
So the pit actually is right here. So where Seducius is currently is the pit. But let's clear out that
And these
old one.
flying, right?
Yeah,
They're
it's like
floating?
hovering. Yep.
Like, okay. I'm getting real good with my crossbow. I'm ready when you are.
I mean, you got some other things you can do too. Just putting it out there. But let's get some initiative rolls. So we got Zendri first with a 9, and then and then we've got Sless with a 13. Nice, hitting those double digits finally, Sless.
Oh my gosh, I know.
And then Flex with an 18. Nice work. And then Seducius with a 7. Same thing you got last time. And Torin, what did we get?
Wait, what happened to mine?
I think you might have typed yours in incorrectly. Do you remember check and then
Does
initiative?
it roll? Oh, damn it. Check. Yeah, I think I mess up that every time.
Yours is more complicated. Ooh, nice, natural 20, always good. Yours is
Take
more
it.
complicated because you have to remember when you go into your animal mode, it's not built in, so you have to go to roll.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and start.
I'll take that.
All right,
though.
so first
Go.
up, that's going to be Torin. Oop, I think we lost Torin. Yeah, I think we lost him.
Yeah.
That's all right. Let me see if I can play for him. So we'll just have Torin. I think try to
Wait,
do
can you hear
one.
me now?
Oh, there you are. Hey, yeah. What do you want to do?
I meant to unmute and I like busted out of the chat on accident. I will. All right, let me see where I'm at here. We're going south, right? Out of this? Or
You're going northward.
Okay. I'll all have. Wait, what's the orange thing?
The orange thing is the Will-o'-the-Wisp that has now turned
That's that
hostile
thing.
and is trying to attack Seducius in the pit.
Okay. I will get to the left of it, and I'm going to.
You're going to have a real hard time because this whole area is a pit. So you can try to jump it. It's about 5 feet across. You can make that jump, but I'll say that'll be all of your movement.
How about I? Well, let me see my rest real quick. Nice. Do we take a rest or anything like that yet?
You took a short
I
rest.
have one more wild chip.
Yeah, you should have one more wild shape because you used a horse to get in.
Okay, I'm gonna now transition into one of the spiders, the giant ones.
Okay.
Just for Seducius, you know.
Yeah, nail it.
Yeah, I'm like half dead. You're gonna kill me with
His love language. I'm gonna get above this guy and try to attack it.
Okay. So you get above this thing in it. How do you want to try to attack this thing? With your bite?
I'm gonna use. Yeah, bite. It looks like is what I got. Or, yeah, let's do bite. That's fine.
Okay, that's actually gonna count. That won't count as magical. So go ahead and roll to hit with it. So in this case, it's gonna be 1d20 plus 1d20 plus 5.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to roll. Damn it.
Okay. That does hit it. So go ahead and roll your damage now. You can either take the 7 or you can do your roll. And while you're doing that, I'll roll its con save.
I'll hit the 7. I'll hit the 7.
Okay. And it does fail
nice.
that. So it does fail its Constitution save, so it's going to take some poison damage in there. We'll just take the average on that as well. So total damage it takes is 16 points. But as you kind of go to bite it, your mandibles kind of shoot through it a little bit, kind of phase through, and you feel a little bit of connection, but it's not like flesh, and so it doesn't seem to take as much damage as you would have expected. It seems to be resistant to like physical attacks that it's taking.
Okay.
So it's only going to take half.
Better hit it with some freaking magic, boys.
Yeah.
So you share that to the team, let them know, and you're like your spider signaling, just. But that'll bring us to Flux.
Okay, so I have Cure Wounds, and I haven't used it yet. And I know I'm kind of far back there, and it says I have to be within like range, like I have to touch somebody to be able to
Cure Wounds is touch, and Seducius is about. The pit's like 10 feet. He landed on the swords. I'll say he's about 8 feet within range of you. So you can try and like slowly creep down the pit and try not to fall. Try to touch him there. You can try and reach down, see if you can reach up. Up to you how you want to do this.
I can get as close to the pit and like reach my arm down to see if I can like get his attention to like at least like grab his arm or his hand or something so I can try to cure some of his wounds so he has a chance.
Roll an athletics check or an acrobatics check for me, whichever you'd prefer.
You wouldn't be the first woman to try and cure my wounds, so good luck.
Woof.
Uncurable.
Is it athletic or athletics?
Athletics. Oh. Nice. Okay, so you are able to kind of hold on with one hand and reach down with the other and just reach out and touch him. So go ahead and cast Cure Wounds, and so let's see how much health you get back to Seducius.
So it's a 1d8 plus 2 because I got that 2.
You can also do cast Cure Wounds in the chat, and it should see that one.
Oh, just cast.
So exclamation point cast space Cure Wounds in quotes.
Oh, in quotes. Duh.
How many health points is he down right now?
He's at 12 right now.
Out of
I'm at half life right now.
That's what I was before you started.
Cool. So you get 7 points of health back.
Now,
huh?
I said, what are you at now, health-wise?
I'm back up to 21 or 22 now because of our rest.
Okay.
So then he gets 7.
So Seducius, you're at 19 now. Feel a little bit more pep. That will end your turn though, Flux, since I gave you the bonus action there. Celeste, that does bring us to you, kind of around that corner currently.
Yeah, and he's still like he's being held by that thing, right?
Yep.
Okay. Shoot. So many of my attacks are gonna hurt him.
Well,
Hurt me?
it might not hurt him. I'll say you can probably like switch spots with Flux. I'll allow that since you guys are allies, and you could shoot this thing with a few things. Firebolt might work. You could also see into that room if you had something that did like a sphere, as an example, and if you aimed it behind it, you could just hit. You know what I mean? Like that.
Okay. So if
You've
I did
got
like
some
an ice
choices.
knife.
Yeah, you could try and do that.
Okay.
So here's the thing you want to know about Ice Knife. Ice Knife is kind of unique. Not a lot of spells do this. Ice Knife first hits a single creature.
Right.
Wherever it hits, if it hits the creature or it misses and like ricochets off a wall, whenever it hits, from that point, then it does more damage. So if you're trying to hit this creature with Ice Knife, to do the bigger damage, then from that it'll do that radius.
Right. But if I do that, then it's gonna hit Seducius, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. I don't want to do that.
Sometimes you have to sacrifice.
It's gonna hit you too, Torin. Just a heads up, because you're on the wall
shit.
with this thing.
Never mind. Be careful with that ice knife thing.
Could have been dead,
Looking at your spell
now
list,
we're taking down your prize fighter.
Catapult might be a cool choice. That's a fun one.
Is there anything in here I can do that with though? That was my only.
You have things on you,
like big
right?
blocks or anything?
I mean, you could take just a pebble from the earth. You could take a coin in your hand or some tchotchke that you have on you. One of the gems you might have. You could literally use anything for catapult. It's kind of cool because you can take anything and make it turn into this weapon. To add some flavor. Like as an example, like again, like some flavor you could add is you could say like you carry around a pouch full of river rocks that you think are pretty that you use to murder people with as catapult.
Oh.
You know, it's kind of up to you to add whatever flavor you think your character would find enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'll say it turns out earlier when we were getting Vincent from the shore, I found some pretty cool solid rocks that I could, use in a battle that I wish we had when we fought the half orc earlier. So, so I decided to pick them up. So yeah, I'll use one of those in as a catapult.
Yeah, sure. So go ahead, and I think that's me now. You throw it. It hits in that direction. So I need to do a dexterity saving throw to see if I get out of the way. And he does succeed, but is he going to take half damage? Let me just check. Actually, I just want to check one quick thing on catapult. See if you have to shoot to hit. Flies in a straight line up to 90 feet in you choose before falling on the ground. They'll say okay, so it does actually manage to get out of the way of this thing before it lands, so it does avoid taking damage. But it was a valiant effort. But it does miss. I'll say you picked up 5 river rocks, by the way, so you're down to 4.
Okay.
But that's going to bring us back to this wisp creature, and he is going to go for the person who landed in the trap. So he's going to try and attack Seducius here. Well, let's see if he's got anything else that he would do. No, he's going to try to attack you. So he's going to try and shock you with one of his lightning spells. Let's see if he hits you, sir.
Ride the lightning, let's go.
Followed up with
what's your armor class, Seducius?
13.
So yeah, that definitely hits you. You take 9 points of lightning damage as you're in this pit still. Just like zapped and bleeding on these swords.
Oh man.
What the?
But that will end this creature's turn as he stays above you. Zendri, that brings us to your turn, my friend.
So you had mentioned when I said I was going to use my crossbow that I had others to use.
Yes.
Yes. So are you talking spells or are you talking actions?
Well, they're kind of both. Spells can be actions, but
or your attacks or spells.
Yeah, probably a spell, because you learn this from Torin that it seems like physical weapons on these things aren't going to do much. So some spells that you can use that do damage. Sacred Flame is an example. You can try and cast Cure Wounds to heal up your fellow adventurer yet again. You could also cast one of your spells if you can get close enough to touch this thing, which might be a little tough, but you can try it, which is Inflict Wounds. That one does a ton of damage. Um, you also, just so
And
you
I can
know,
only do one per turn.
correct. Also, just so
Okay.
you know, for future reference, you do also have a spell called Find Traps. Just FYI, out there in the world.
I did not know that, so thank you.
Yeah, so my recommendation at this point is, knowing that you can't cast a physical spell, likely won't hurt it, might be to try something like Sacred Flame, since it gives you range and you won't have to try to get too close. Or if you do want to try to brave it and jump the gap and then get in front of this thing, you could then try Inflict Wounds.
I'm gonna try inflict wounds.
Okay. So the first thing I want you to do then is try an athletics check to see if you can jump over this pit. Shouldn't be very hard for you. So roll an athletics check for me. Oh yeah, nailed it. So you jump over this thing and do like a quick 3-point land and turn around and you just reach out real quick and try to touch this thing with Inflict Wounds. Let's see if it lands. So I need you to roll. I need you to roll a d20 plus 4.
So 1d20 plus 4.
Mm-hmm. So exclamation point roll space 1d20 plus 4.
Shit.
I don't think that will hit. That does not hit. So as you kind of go up there and try to cast it and touch it, it able is to just hover away from you, kind of goes into the pit and comes back out. But you don't land that. So that will end your turn. You've cast one of your spells for this round, so you're at 2 first level spells. That will then take us to Seducius. You are down in this pit, still on these spikes, but you're able to try to get out, or you can try to hit this thing from where you are. Up to you.
Feeling how badly I am hurt, will I have enough if I try and get out and use healing word? I'm trying to read it and understand. Like, can I do healing word on myself, or is it only for other people?
You can do it on yourself.
Okay. So could I potentially use that and try and move out, or if I use it, that's it? I'm still gonna be the pit.
No, great question. So actually, healing word is cool because it's not an action like most spells are. It's a bonus action, so it doesn't take as long to cast. So your action would be trying to get out, and then you could also do healing word. If it was another spell that required an action, you wouldn't be able to because your action is trying to get out.
Okay. And then I lost sight of where the blue or the orange orb is. Where is it in proximity to me?
He's basically like right above you. I was keeping him up so we could see him, but he's basically right above you.
Okay. I want to try and I want to try and get out of the pit, and hopefully in a direction where it'll allow my teammates to do some better spells, if possible.
Okay. Where do you do you want to go northward or southward?
Team is split, so I'm gonna go south, kind of like going back to the way we came in.
Okay. Roll an athletics check for me. I want to see if you're able to get out of that pit without falling back in.
Okay.
It's about a 10-foot climb that you could try to scale the wall here. So shouldn't be too crazy. Okay, that was close, but it actually is enough. I set the DC really low on that one, thank God. So you're able to get out of the pit, but you just make it to the top before you have to stop.
Okay. Yeah, and then if I can, I want to use healing word on myself.
Okay, so yeah, you definitely cast healing word. So in the chat you can do exclamation point cast space in quotes healing word.
So...
Cool. So you give yourself 4 points of healing. Yeah, healing word isn't usually meant to be like a ton. That's why it's a bonus action.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take anything. Like normal Caduceus, I'll take anything.
We've learned. So has poor Helga. So that ends Seducius' turn, which will bring us back to the top. Torrin, it's your turn. You're still a giant spider wolf.
All right, let's do
Craig's nightmare.
Lucius sees that and almost wants to jump back into the pit. So
I'll do a little ranged or web attack on it.
You're trying to like hold it in place, kind of stick it to the wall.
Yeah, just stick it to the wall.
Let's see if that lands on this guy. I just need to check.
Spider-Man over here.
That's right, babies. With this power, you have to be.
Okay, so roll a d20 plus 5 for me. So exclamation point roll 1d20 plus 5.
Call him Torn Parker.
So that is enough to hit it with your webs. Let's see if he gets stuck. He does. So he is currently restrained, kind of spiderweb glued to the side wall there.
Nice.
He's kind of in there.
Okay. Well, I guess that ends my turn, then I can't really do anything else.
Correct. So that will bring us to Flux as you see this thing kind of trapped in this thing for the moment.
So
Oh,
it's trapped.
For the time being, yep.
Because I tried to heal my friend, and then homie got hurt even worse. So I'm really pissed off right now, and I'm about to get really wrathful really quick. I'm about to.
Oakland's coming out.
Listen, Sam
Yeah.
Jackson in Pulp Fiction, that's me right now.
Yeah.
Even though he was trying to be peaceful, not this time, my friend. So, and Nate, I might need your help on this.
Sure.
Out of these three, what do you think would be the best for this type of entity? A Bane spell, Burning Hands, or Wrathful Smite?
Great question. So my first concern.
Oh, what is that? Yeah, get it out.
My first concern with Burning Hands is you would probably hit your
Beyond.
counterparts because that's a 15-foot cone. Bane is cool because the way Bane works is whenever it tries to do anything, it has to roll a dice, and whatever it rolls on that dice, it subtracts from its rolls. So that reduces its ability to do things. And what was the other option?
Wrathful Smite.
I would say at this point, Wrathful Smite might be the one that's most damagey, without causing harm to others.
Do it.
And it would count as making your weapon magic, so it wouldn't be at a penalty. Oh, and I learned this about Wrathful Smite. I was wrong about this. I did it before. If you miss, you can actually roll to hit, and you don't have to say you have Wrathful Smite enabled until you actually hit. So if you don't want to waste it, you can do that. So just a heads up.
Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna, and I have to use Wrathful Smite with a weapon, yeah?
Correct. Something has to hit it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take that trusty longsword that my boyfriend Kravis gave me.
Yeah.
It's been my saving grace thus far. I'm gonna try to hit this little bugger with Wrathful Smite. So. Oh God. Why would you put that in the chat right now?
That's me.
That's who I am right now.
I just webbed him, dude. I wanted to show you. What?
Oh, heck no.
You could have done anything Spider-Man related that was on.
I took that straight from the DND website.
That's what they look like. That's what it is.
Yeah, this is legit.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm rolling a attack with longsword. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Das ist gut, yeah.
So good.
Hey, let's go.
So that does hit.
Dang,
It takes 7 points of damage, and you want to use Wrathful Smite as well?
Yeah. So.
What is that, like a reroll? Or is it extra roll?
Okay, so I want to do... so yeah, go ahead and now also roll 1d6 on top of that. So roll 1d6 to add your Wrathful Smite.
Stupid.
I'm trying to get other images in it to push the other one out of the way.
So you get this thing just real bad, and that just extra blessing from Bahan that your dragon god just pierces through, and it feels even more connected in this space where a dragon, like a former evil dragon, was murdered. and it just obliterates this thing as it cuts through it. And it is dead. It kind of fades away and floats off as it goes, and just a bit of blue dust kind of hits the ground and stops as you've killed it. So for the time being, it seems like we are out of this space. There is still a bit of a chasm between where Zendria and Seducius are, where the pit was that Seducius kind of ran into, enchanted by this light. But in this space, you kind of see basically what seems to be a burial room. On either side of you are two stone, granite-looking sarcophagi with big lids kind of pressed down on them.
How do you do that so quick, by the way?
I don't know.
Nailed it. That's just Torin hanging in the background, bro. It's a spider. And then on the far northern side, kind of this alcove, are the bones of a long dead dragon.
Yo, why does this place look kind of phallic, though?
Everything is a penis to Seducius. It's just how that goes.
Oh my god.
You are drawn to this place. I wanted to go north for a reason. My temple.
Little show, dude.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Settle down.
I guess it's a good thing Easton went to sleep a half hour ago.
You're just waiting.
Yeah.
So where are you guys? Kind of go northward. Do you want to check out the dragon bones? You see a bit of a skull kind of peeking around the corner, and then you do see the two sarcophagi on either side of this space.
Yeah, I mean, I want to check out all of it. I want to open the sarcophagi and go check out those bones.
So as you approach the sarcophagi, you do notice they're kind of covered in a layer of blood, or dust. Sorry, not blood. And you kind of look. You can see a bit of an inscription. In the inscription, it says, "Here lies Lady Alagondor, Dragon Slayer."
Ooh.
Yeah, we need to open this. We need to open this shit. Open
So
this.
roll a strength check for me, Seducius, if you're trying to open this thing.
Wait, did he jump back over the pit?
I'm gonna say yes. It's a small pit, so
Okay,
it
all
won't
of
be
us are over the pit.
Yeah, we'll say
Yeah,
yes.
we're all in there.
It's only about 5 feet
Yeah.
wide. You can get over it pretty easy. You try to push and strain, and you feel it just go a little bit, but you're not quite strong enough to get this thing open.
It's only because I'm hurt right now, guys. No man, get it.
All right,
Get lost in the weak sauce, bro.
We cross dog.
Not enough. You guys push and push. Can't quite do it.
come on.
I feel like Tor needs to get in here.
All right, I'm busting through. Well, I'm still a spider, I guess, but coming in.
Use
switch to
your
something
big spider web.
Use your web to I don't know.
Oh, that's a good idea, Tor.
grab
Web it up.
and throw it.
All right, I'm gonna.
All right. I'll say that's pretty cool. I'll let you roll a strength check as your, or an athletics check as your spider with advantage, because that's a cool idea. I dig that idea.
Wait, what do I?
It's gonna be a strength check for you plus, so 1d20 plus 2.
That is so cute. Stop it.
Oh my gosh! Stop you.
Yeah.
Do I have extra?
Oh, Spidey.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna do that when we get back to work.
Oh no.
Dance like a little Spider-Man?
Don't do a check. Just
Yeah.
do a roll. 1d20 plus 2.
Oh,
Because remember, you're still a spider.
I forgot. You gotta get that down.
Yeah, not. Oh, and do it again. You're getting advantage, so do it one more time. So no,
Critical fail.
this thing is
Yeah,
stuck
critical fail.
on. It will not seem to move. You even as you try to pull this thing, your web snaps and you kind of slip a little bit and bump your head on the opposite wall.
Oh,
Can we smash it?
You can try.
Hulk smash.
What are you going to try to smash it with?
Hulk smash.
Well, I don't know.
You could use a weapon. You could try to use a spell on it. Kind of up to you.
You know what? This is
Actually,
really fun. If you could be
I have
the
I,
Avengers.
You have what now?
I have a crowbar in my equipment.
Yeah, I'll say you can do that, and I'll give you advantage on your strength check or your athletics check if you want to try to use your crowbar again.
Okay.
So roll one more time for me.
Oh, I forgot to put advantage. Sorry.
Yeah, not enough. You push and push,
Come
but
on.
sorcerers aren't typically that strong, so you get a sense you're not gonna be able to lift this unless you really can get to it.
Hmm. I do have a hammer too.
You want to try to take a thwack at it with the hammer?
Yeah.
Roll a 1d20. For you, that would be plus nothing actually, because your strength score is 0. So 1d20 is flat.
Okay, you get a good roll.
Okay, yeah. So you do make contact with that hammer, and it does seem to crack it. Go ahead and roll damage. So on that hammer, that's an improvised weapon. So just a straight 1d4.
Come on.
So you do a couple points of damage to this thing. You see a bit of a crack. It does seem smashable, but maybe you need something more meaty to knock at this thing.
Okay. Yeah, someone with a huge sword to smack that.
Who has weapons from before? Doesn't someone have a big sword from before? A Kravis' sword or something?
Me.
Flux is like, I don't want nothing to do with this damn sarcophagus.
And I'm like, y'all really? Alright.
Y'all are nuts.
Alright.
There's probably treasure here. Dragon killing treasure.
Yeah, there's also Seducious killing treasure in this place, as we've already seen. So I wasted all my good spells on you.
Yeah, you're out of spells. I think you cast all the spells you had available to you. Are you gonna try to hit this thing, Flux?
Yeah, might as well. I'll Hercules it.
I'll let you roll at advantage because it's a stationary object here. So roll. Do an attack with your longsword.
Yep.
And if you do exclamation point attack space quotes longsword space ADV, it should automatically roll an advantage for you.
ADV.
ADD?
Advantage. And then 1. And then.
Cool. So that hits. You do 8 points to damage of this thing, and you see it now just, and the whole thing just crumples in, and you see this granite stone kind of make way for these bones that are inside of it, and it does seem to be a skeleton. Nothing has attacked you so far. Do me a favor. Roll a medicine check.
Me?
You're the one kind of looking in this thing, and I also want you to roll a perception check too for me. Okay.
19.
So you can tell these are the bones of a woman who's been here for quite some time. You assume this is the lady, what was her name again? Alagondor? I don't want to mispronounce it. That did kill this dragon. Then do a perception check for me as well.
Yeah. Let's see if her weapon is in there.
So you get a pretty good look inside the sarcophagus. Nothing but the skeleton seems to be inside there. But as you kind of glance through and look northward, you do see again those bones of the dragon that was killed here. And it's kind of like the bones are kind of laid out in a pattern over near the north wall, with the skull kind of in the wall. And through the skull is the hilt of a sword that seems to be the nail that was used to keep this sword, keep this dragon skull in the wall.
Hell yes. I'm gonna go grab that sword.
Okay.
What you gonna have over there?
Listen, you want to do foolery? I'm
Yeah.
gonna come try to save you. I get rewarded for it. Chill.
So
Hey,
you
I
go over
loosened-
to the sword,
Hey, I loosened it up for you.
and you're pulling the sword out of the wall.
Yes.
So we're just over here.
So you pull the sword out of the wall and you look at it, and you do get the sense that it is quite magical. Just for S&Gs, why don't you roll a Arcana check for me? Because no one here has an identify spell, I don't think. So yeah, roll an Arcana check for me.
I do.
Do you have the identify spell?
I do.
If you wanted to, you could cast identify. And let me just check something on that. Yeah, you've got identify. If you wanted to cast it, you could tell what this thing did.
Oh.
You can
Yeah,
also, if
let's
you
do
don't
it.
want to use a spell slot, you see that little R next to identify? That means that it's a ritual spell. If you just took 10 minutes to just kind of do this magic and read it from your tome specifically, it wouldn't take up a spell slot. It would just take about 10 minutes of your time. And you do see like you're
Wait,
pretty
what do I
safe
do?
in this area. It just, if you hit cast, it's going to use a spell slot like we talked about earlier. But you notice it's got that little symbol, like a book R next to it. Some spells you can cast as what's called a ritual, which means you just take about 10 minutes or so and prepare it and read through it, and you can cast it without it using a spell slot. It's just going to take about 10 minutes of in-game time. So it wouldn't be something to do in combat, but you could do it outside of combat like you guys are now, and you do feel pretty secure with where you guys are currently. So you could tell what this thing is.
What do
if
you
you're
guys
willing
think
to.
I should do?
I think you should open
Yeah,
up that.
I mean, I don't mind taking that.
Take that
Yeah,
10 minutes.
let's just
Wait
do
for
it.
10 minutes. There's nothing attacking us.
So you kind of set
Yeah.
up this spell space around you, and you pray to this cat god that you worship, and it does reveal to you what this thing is, and I will link it in chat for everyone.
Oh, snap.
Here you go.
Burp, 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 burp. Where did I put that? There it is.
Post another picture of a spider.
No.
You should do that anytime you see Craig like lean in to look at the screen.
Oop, that's not the right thing.
Oh.
Sorry, that's you.
Trent, did you say that spiders were Seduceus's love language?
Yeah, I know. What the?
Just a thing, you know. So the thing I put in chat is the current thing.
Heck.
Nice, that's not
Dragon
bad, dude.
Slayer Longsword.
Y'all better not kill me with that, dude.
So you have the sword called Dragon Slayer, and
Yeah,
Flux,
let's go.
as you are pulling this thing out of the kind of the skull kind of crumples to the ground. And you see it hit, and you do see like a little plaque underneath it that kind of tells you the name of this dragon was Adradak, an evil blue dragon that was killed by the lady and her squire and her compatriots that are buried here in this tomb. But as you take this sword out from the skull and it shatters on the ground, you suddenly feel this wind kind of start to pick up, and I need everyone to roll initiative again.
This is
It's
a
like
good
we're in
roll.
freaking Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom right
Let's
now.
go, Flex.
I gotta check, dude. I'm so bad.
Yeah.
Saving all these boys.
They don't get a lot of more
That
chances
one
on this one. Okay, Zendry got a 16. And Torin got
Yeah, it
an
does feel
11.
very like Indiana Jones over here.
And Celeste got a 5. Caduceus gets a 10.
It's 2020, y'all. Women save the men now. Let's go.
That's how it is. They were saving y'all before. They just weren't getting
Be
credit.
real, Nate. Come on, tell them about it, Nate.
Seriously.
All right, so there we go. So as you kind of notice this space and you guys are clustered all over here, because it sounded like all of you kind of followed her. So you're here. This unseen, just kind of force starts to kind of swirl around you and almost start to kind of lift you up off the ground, and it feels malevolent as you hear this like, as it starts to attack and turn hostile towards all of you. But Flux, it actually puts you first. What would you like to do with your turn?
Good God.
Well, shit. I'm gonna have to attack this fool. I'm gonna throw Hunter's Mark on it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hit it with the longsword. So.
Okay, roll to hit.
Why don't you hit it with that dragon sword you just got?
You have that, but you haven't. You might not be able to use it just yet. I'll put it that way.
I'm gonna save that for the dragon back at Phandalin.
Yeah, the invisible thing would have gotten that.
And what is it that we're seeing?
You're actually not seeing much. You're just feeling like air move very quickly through the air, and sometimes it kind of forms into a bit of a shape. Other times it just isn't there.
Okay.
So, okay. Yeah, my natural reaction is just to fight anytime I feel scared. So, I'm just going to take my longsword and try to attack this fool. Even though I don't know what it really is.
Sure. You go ahead and roll, but you're going to actually roll at disadvantage, so I need you to roll one more time. Do that attack one more time. We're going to take the lower of the two numbers, because this thing is invisible. You can't quite see it.
Oh. Sick.
That misses. So you're not able to kind of figure out where this thing is, and you just swing wildly at this thing. That'll bring us to Zendri. It's your turn.
Would now be a appropriate time to use the find trap?
Probably not. You don't suspect this is a trap.
No.
Whatever it is, you've probably already triggered it. So this is more like I need to do some damage or heal people, or set up some ground control or something.
Well, is there anyone that needs to be healed right now?
No.
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
So like you can try and hit this thing with your. You could heal. You could also try to hit with your mace or your crossbow again, although that would be kind of hard because it's invisible. You could also try and cast Sacred Flame.
Yeah.
See if you
I
can do some
can't
damage
really
with
see
it. Yeah, Sacred Flame might be the best in these instances. Well, you can't see it, so that one actually
But it
won't
says
work.
that you can see within range. I can't see it.
Yeah, you can't see it. You won't be able to do that.
So how about I just try and hit it with my mace? We'll
Okay.
just throw a shot.
So roll, do a attack with your mace, but roll it. If you do, here, let me give you the command so you can do it all in one go. So, attack, mace, disc.
I just want to be clear. Has this thing actually attacked us, or we just feel a presence?
It feels malevolent. It feels malicious. Oop, that didn't go.
Uh-oh.
I'll get it back up.
Would it help if any of us rolled like an Arcana check to try and figure out what it actually is, or no?
You can always try. Kind of up to you what you want to do when it's your turn.
What is this?
Dis stands for disadvantage. You're rolling a disadvantage because you can't see this thing.
Okay, so I do exclamation point attack space mace space disadvantage.
Yep. Yeah, just remove the quotes except for around mace. Cool, that actually does hit, so you do 4 points of damage to this thing. But as you kind of like try to move that mace through it, it does seem to kind of warp around that mace and doesn't seem to take full damage. So not a ton. This thing's, it's hard to even tell if this thing is even hurt at this point.
Interesting.
At least now we have an idea where it is, right?
Not really. It's still invisible.
It moved away, didn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
you were just flailing wildly at this thing, so you don't. You
Oh.
just felt it. No one can see
I
it
don't
at this
know.
point.
I'm just throwing hands.
So that'll bring us to this creature's turn.
Oh.
And yeah, that's its only job. So it's just gonna go after the. You notice it's going after the creature that took the sword. So it's gonna try to slam into you twice, Flux. The first one misses. The second one, 14 plus 6. That second one's gonna hit, and you're gonna take 10 points of damage from this thing. Yeah, it really, really can wail on you, this creature.
Had to have that sword.
You're muted, love.
Seducious. Getting me into this shit.
Where's that coming from?
It's gonna be worth it in the end.
That's what they all say. Never really happens.
Right, it's like all the ladies. It'll be worth it in the end. Just you wait.
Just stay quiet. It'll be worth it.
Hey, what happened to the streamer map? I can't see it.
Oh, sorry, my fault. I forgot to set it again. By the way, are one of you guys in Twitch, and is Twitch volume on for you? I'm hearing like
I can
back
check.
kick somewhere, and I don't know if it's coming from my computer or.
It is not I.
I think it's mine. I just don't know what it's coming from. What on earth is it coming from? I think it's mine. But I have
The
that.
echo? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm just like hearing it
Yeah.
somewhere, and I don't know from what. That's alright. I'll just quit out of this.
I just hear a beautiful flute playing in the background.
I mean, that's what you should hear. That's the correct answer. I'm getting it from somewhere. I'm not sure where. I'll figure it out later. In either case, so
Hey, Twitch
that
sounds pretty good, actually.
that ends the Stalker's turn, and it is now Torin, your turn.
Alright. I am still a badass spider. So I will do. Check his attack. Maybe I'll try to web him. Web this thing out. Is this? I can't see it though.
You can't see it. I'll allow you to just roll in that area at disadvantage and see if you can grasp it in there.
Okay.
But kind of up to you.
Yeah. Is it in the dark? Is that why we can't see it?
No, it's because this thing is invisible.
Oh, it is invisible. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try to just web in that general direction and see if I can hit it.
Okay. So go ahead and roll to hit, which is a 1d20 plus 5 for that web, but roll it with disadvantage. So exclamation point roll space 1d20 plus 5 space dis.
Dang.
My phone maybe? I'm so confused. Yeah, that misses. It doesn't seem like it does stick to the wall, and it does have a bit of kind of space at its grasp, but it doesn't seem like it caught anything in it. So that'll bring us to Seducius. Since you kind of asked the question about this thing, can you roll an Arcana check for me, Seducius?
Mm-hmm. Happily. Always seek to understand.
Yeah, you don't garner too much from this thing. You do get the sense that it's pissed off that the sword was taken.
I need to heal myself before I die in this battle.
Yeah, this thing is tough and very scary. Like, just to be very clear, this thing feels like it could wreck you. If it hit both hits, it would have done 20 points of damage in one turn. So, just putting it out there in the world.
Man.
We should run
Can
away.
I use? No, we're not running away.
Okay. All right.
We don't run away from our problems, Flux. We face them.
Well, you see what happens when we do that? You
I'm
almost
gonna-
died, so we can do it this way.
Almost. I didn't die. I'm gonna do a second level healing word on myself, so I can try and boost myself back up before this thing tries to slam me.
Sure.
So I need to roll.
Exclamation point, cast, space, in quotes, healing word. So you give yourself 7 points of healing.
Do I have to do I have to type anything different because it was second level versus first level, or no?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot what that is. It's exclamation point, cast, healing word, in quotes, space, -L2.
Space -L2.
Mm-hmm. See if that did it. And now I think that still gave you first level. Here, I'll roll it for you real quick. I can't remember what the thing was. I'll roll it for you real fast. Second level healing word. I'm not gonna let you do that one. That's my fault. I'll cast it one more time for you. It gave you 2 ones, so you got 5 total from second level, which is shit. Let me give you one more roll. Okay, that's a little better.
I mean, I have an inspiration.
That's all right. You got 8 points. 8 points of health back.
Okay. That almost brings me to full. So. And then I'm pretty much done after that. Yeah.
That was just your bonus action. If you want to try to do an action as well. You won't be able to cast a spell because you can only cast one spell basically with what you've got. But you can try and attack with a weapon, or flee, or anything else you think might be prudent here.
I don't know. I think knowing some of my teammates have big, powerful spells, I'm gonna just move a little south to kind of get out of the way in case no one wants to do like a big something.
Okay.
How far can I move?
You've got 30 feet of movement, so you can go.
Oh.
All the
Run away.
Right before the pit. You can get about there. Run away!
You said we're going hard in the paint on this, dude.
Remember when Seduce was like, we don't run away from our problems,
Right.
and then he was like, meh.
Yeah,
Yeah. and
literally
then
running away from
that
our
like
problems.
that.
I'm not gonna dig that far. Calm down.
Wow.
Who's the little emoji with the hat right there?
It's me.
Oh. Yeah, I'm just gonna move close to where Celeste is, so I can just be like out of the line of fire in case someone's gonna unload some big guns.
Good one.
All right, so that'll end Seduce's turn. Celeste, it does bring us to you.
And I still can't see this thing, right?
Correct, it is invisible.
Well, and if I do Burning Hands, it does a really good radius, but I'm probably going to hurt somebody else, right?
It's a 15-foot cone. So let me just check.
But, well, what if I move to, over there?
Yeah, you
right?
can probably do it where it just hits the creature.
Okay. I'm going to do a second level Burning Hand. Let's go full out on this.
So let me just see what the DC is on that for that then.
It's
Burning Hands, DC 13, he's got to beat. Oh, fail. Okay. So roll your damage, 3d6.
No, 4d6, right? Your second level? Yeah.
Oh yeah, my fault. My fault. Oh, exactly.
Come on.
Okay, so as you just kind of like spout out this huge cone of fire, it does seem to take, you do hear some painful noises from this, even though it's still invisible, and you can just make out its shape kind of in the center of this area. But you do get the sense it's still there, focused, kind of in the center. Um, Anything else on your turn you'd like to do?
Well, I feel like I've missed this opportunity a couple times. If I want to do Hellish Rebuke, do I do it now, or would I do it like after if he decides to attack me?
Yes. So Hellish Rebuke only processes if you take damage, and then you can
Okay.
try to hit it back.
Then no, that's it. I'm done.
Cool. So that'll bring us back to the top of the round. Flux, it is your turn.
Oh man, okay. So I'm at 11 damage, which is less than half of my life. Can I can't like cast anything, huh? Did I use up all my spell slots? I can't hear you, Nate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pull out the sword and
Okay.
start smashing with it.
Yeah, but
Yay.
now we have a little bit better idea of where it is, right? Because I lit it on fire.
Flux can definitely tell where it is. This thing is swirling around her, even though she can't see it.
Oh,
I don't like that.
get that sword out.
Okay. Yeah, so wait, do I still have Hunter's Mark on this thing?
I don't think. Did you cast it on this thing? Oh, you did. That's right. You did.
I did. I'm gonna try to attack it with my long sword.
Okay. Go to roll to hit, but you're gonna roll a disadvantage again.
My sword can still. Hold on.
Nice.
Okay, and then one more.
Mhm. So that does miss. Hey, just a heads up as well. You also have other things that you could do. As an example, you've got Burning Hands available to you,
Mhm.
and that doesn't
Yeah.
take a spell slot. That's just an ability because
Okay.
of your
Good.
So, do you want to perhaps rescind the longsword attack?
You know what? Yes, I'll
Okay.
do that.
So you
Yeah.
spout out this cone
Go
of
full
flame
send, dude.
straight in front of you.
Yes.
And let's see if he fails
Yes,
his
I
deck
will.
save, which he does. So is that a 5? Yeah. So go ahead and roll damage now. It's 3d6. Cool. 7 points of damage to this thing. Again, a little bit more pain, but this thing still seems just as strong and just as vicious. So you guys have done collectively about 30 points to this thing. You felt like you've given it some blows, and it still seems pretty on top of shit. Putting that out there.
Man.
Zendri,
Yeah.
your turn.
I would like to use my cure wounds on Flux.
Oh.
Okay. So go ahead and roll 1d8 plus 2 for me to see how much health you give her back. Actually, is that yours or is that? Yeah, 1d8 plus 2.
Feel really bad. I almost threw Theo off the couch just now.
He's a cat. He's fine. So Flux, you get 5 points of healing back.
Thank you.
There you go, girl.
Thank you, Zendra. You can borrow any one of my swords anytime.
Mhm.
How much? 5 points?
Thanks,
5
boo.
points.
Yeah.
God, I'm back up to 16 out of 25.
There you go.
So you saying there's a chance.
So anything else on your turn that you want to do, Zendri?
Ooh, what else could I do?
You can move. I don't think you have any bonus actions available to you.
Yeah, I don't. I was looking at that.
Yeah, I think you can move or you can kind of stay in this
Sorry.
space. Kind of up to you.
Where am I'm super close.
Hmm.
I mean, we don't really know where the hell it is, so it doesn't really matter. I'm good.
So that'll bring us back to the stalker, who again goes for Flux, seeing that she's got the sword.
Man.
Oh no! I'm glad I made that decision.
First one
Someone's obsessed over there.
is gonna
A
hit.
fan.
Second
That
one.
longsword, baby.
Second one is gonna hit
You
as well,
started
Flux.
talking a lot of
So you
so
feel
bad.
this thing kind of wrap around you, Flux, as it just like
Yo.
pelts you with its invisible body and shape. You just feel these pummelings of air hit you, and you take 20 points of damage.
Oh,
What?
So I'm dead.
My goodness!
So I'm dead.
Holy crap!
So this is why I said this is
We
why
can
I said
save
we should
you.
Run away.
The sword does kind of clatter to the floor in this meantime as it kind of clatters down there.
Okay.
Was it worth it? Was it worth it to do?
The juice is always worth the squeeze, okay?
Can I wait? Do I go into negative?
Yes.
Nate, can I ask a really quick question?
Of course.
Okay, I just want to be clear when, like, in this turn-based style, like, when it's not my turn, can I, like, still speak up and, like, talk to my teammates, or do I have to, like, just wait and, like, until it's my turn to, like, say anything?
Yeah, I kind of
a good
play it by ear depending on what exactly it is you want to do. What's your game plan here?
So what I want to do, seeing Flux fall on the ground and seeing the sword fall to the ground, I want to tell my team, like, I have an idea. Someone should pick up that sword and stick it back in the wall, and then see if the thing goes away or is not malevolent.
Yeah,
I
you
want
could
to see if someone will do.
you could say that if it's like a strategic thing that you want to shout, sure. And you're in range.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
say that, everyone hears you. It's Torin's turn. That being said, so kind of up to Torin how he wants to respond to that.
yeah, I ain't trying to grab that sword, dude.
yeah.
Dude.
You're probably wondering why you don't pick up the sword, Seducius.
Well, when it's my turn, I will.
How about
I will hold the long sword.
what if I? Since I'm still a spider, pick up the sword and just piece the heck out of here.
It's up to you how you want to handle it, sir.
Take me out of the danger, but that's okay. You can pick up my lifeless body and take me out.
That's also an
Put the
option.
sword, put the sword.
Kind of up
Put
to
the
you how
sword,
you want
it's
to do
fine.
this.
Alright. I'm not putting it back in, dude. That's not gonna do anything.
That's what she said.
Okay.
Seducius, what did you roll on that Arcana check before? A 9? Yeah, you don't know if putting the sword back will do anything. I'll say that. It's an idea. It's out there in the world, but you don't know if it will or not.
Alright, I'm gonna pick up this sword and then just hightail it as far as freaking possible.
Okay.
This guy can go like 30 feet.
So you can make it like, so you're not in the pit because I'll say you're on the roof, but you can make it there.
Yeah.
If you actually want to use your full action to go even further, you can use dash, which gives you 60 feet, which would get you almost to the stairway.
Alright.
Sure.
Okay.
I always have an escape plan.
So that'll end your turn then, Torin. Seducius, it is your turn.
Oh.
Well,
What
the
you gonna
sword
do
is
now?
gone.
There goes that idea.
God damn it.
This is why D&D
Flux
is the
is
best, the
unconscious.
literal best.
What the?
So yes, Flux is unconscious on the floor, bleeding out. She's not dead yet, but she's gonna be making death saves here pretty soon.
I'm in -4 health, y'all. Hit points are in -4 right now. I was at 16. So.
Well, the good news is negative doesn't matter so much. So it's more how do your death saves go.
I'm gonna try and repay, the kindness to Flux, who
Okay.
saved my ass. Granted though, I've only got healing word. I mean, I'll use my second level spell slot and use one more healing word on Flux.
Okay. So go ahead and roll the healing for it.
Okay. I have to be 60 feet in range. I think I still am, right?
Yeah, absolutely. She would be able to hear you from there.
Okay. But how am I going to do a level 2? We didn't figure that out last time.
I think what might be easier is just do the straight roll. So in chat, do exclamation point roll roll 2d4 plus 3. So exclamation point roll space 2d4 plus 3. Okay, so Flux gets 9 points of healing. As she kind of like takes another big breath in, and she kind of like is still prone on the floor, but she does seem alive and conscious again. A little bit more ready to go. That'll end your turn,
You got
Seducius, or are you trying to do anything?
I'm good where I'm at right now.
Okay, you want to stay there? Okay. That'll bring us to Sless. Your turn, sir.
All right. Well, last time around, I feel like I did some pretty good damage against this thing. I might just want to do the same thing. I mean, I did some pretty awesome damage against it with the. I do have one more second level. Well, let me see.
Yeah, you could do catapult again. Technically, catapult is a higher threshold of possible damage to this thing. So you could try catapult.
Yeah, but the physical stuff wasn't doing so great against it, right? Like,
yes, but technically catapult doesn't count as a physical thing because you're casting a spell on that stone.
oh, well, then yeah, let's try that. I'm gonna try that second level catapult.
So you kind of chuck it at this guy. So
yeah,
I've got
13 dexterity.
I got to beat the 13. He does not. He rolled a 12 after the total. So he takes full damage on this thing. So I think it was 4d8 or 3d8?
4d8.
Cool. So go ahead and roll 4d8.
Come on, baby.
Nice. You do see this stone kind of connect with something invisible in the air, and you hear this loud cry of pain. This thing is still standing and buffeting around, but for the first time it seems to actually be hurt. Anything else on your turn, Celeste?
Let me see something here.
I didn't know you lived with Zindri.
Huh?
Didn't know Jeremy lived with a version of Zindri.
Exactly. It's me. Look at you.
Well, I do have. Let me see. No, yeah, there's nothing else I can do.
So that'll end its turn, or end your turn. So Flux, that brings us back to you. You are back alive with 9 hit points.
You're welcome.
Run away.
I'm running away.
Okay.
I'm done with this thing.
If you're going to use your full action, so you can do one of two things. You can use your full action to dash, which gets you 60 feet, which would get you pretty close to where Torin is down there. But because you're leaving its combat zone, it would have a reaction, and it could take an opportunity, like one kind of swipe at you as you went. Or you could use your action to disengage instead of dash, go 30 feet, and then it wouldn't be able to hurt you, but that would count as your action.
Disengage.
Okay, so that'll put you
Yeah, bye.
Disengage.
there. So that'll bring us then to Zendri.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I heard it pretty bad. You have any magic you can use?
Any magic?
Yeah, if you guys recoup, you might be able to. It's still got a lot of hit points, but
No.
it's not impossible.
Can I use inflict wounds on this guy? Even though I can't touch it?
Yes, I will just let you kind of roll a disadvantage on the attack to see if you can land it.
Okay.
So, are you doing it first level, second level?
Second level.
Okay.
Actually, no, first level.
Okay.
Better
So
land that
exclamation,
shit.
exclamation point roll.
Exclamation point cast, in quotes, inflict wounds.
Oh, just kidding. Sorry. Exclamation point cast. What?
Inflict wounds, in quotes.
Okay.
Any reason why you don't want to do it at second level, though? Just so I know. Like, what's your theory there?
Well, because he said that he did some damage. I mean, if you think that's the best. What do you guys think? Second level?
You have slots?
Yeah, I think the risk is that you miss and you waste the second level, but the other half of that is if you hit it, then it's going to be pretty damn good.
Yeah.
All right, let's chance it. We'll do second level. Go hard or go home, right?
All right, so
Right.
I can't figure out the exact combo to put it in the chat, so just do me a favor. Type
Okay.
this exclamation point roll space 1d20 plus 4 space DIS.
Wait, do you still need me to do inflict wounds?
No, because I can't figure out the second
Oh,
level
shit.
portion, so just do
Okay.
the roll feature.
Exclamation point roll space.
1d20 plus 4 space DIS. So its armor class is 14. You just hit it. So go ahead and roll damage. So
Yeah.
you're going to do exclamation point roll 4d10. That's a real
Let's
thing,
go!
by the way. I will show you. I didn't bullshit that to help you. So you do 20 points of damage to this creature.
Kill that shit.
21.
21 points of damage, excuse me. And it's starting to kind of falter and stumble, and its invisibility is not worn off, but it does seem to kind of jump around a little bit. And then all of a sudden, it's there. You can all see it now.
Ooh.
And it's
Game
hard.
changer.
Say that again. It looks like a swirling mess of air. It doesn't have a form to it. It just looks like air that you can kind of
like
see.
Call it a dust devil.
Okay.
Just for a moment, but you can get a sense that it's there.
Still?
No, actually, Zendry, that ends your turn. That does bring us to the Stalker.
Okay.
The Stalker is basically dead set on getting to that sword. So.
Wait, who has it now?
Torin ran off with
Torin
it.
has
Run
it?
right off with it.
So it's gonna run towards it.
Eight.
And
Uh-oh.
he
He's
can
going to
get
stop right next to me.
it. He's gonna
Yeah.
use his full action to try to get through, but he can't pass you. So he will stop there, but that does end his turn. But that being said, Flux
God damn it, Torin.
and
Put that evil on me.
Sless, it did
Put
leave
that
your
on
combat
everybody.
range. So you guys can both take opportunity attacks with one of your melee weapons. So you can try to hit it with your mace real quick, Zendry, and you can try to hit it with one of your daggers, Sless. So go ahead and both of you do attack space and then in quotes mace or dagger, depending on which one you're using. So the mace misses. The dagger hits. You do 3 points of damage to this thing, but it doesn't seem to take full damage as it kind of like just shunts it. It really only takes like a little nick as you catch it, almost negligible. But that will end its turn. Torin, that brings us to your turn.
I'm getting out of here, bro. Let's go as far as possible.
You can get outside of this building if you'd like.
Well, actually, is that a staircase in the middle?
Yeah, in the middle is the staircase the way you came up, and then around you are other tunnels that you guys haven't explored yet. Other passageways you haven't explored yet. The two shiny orbs, by the way, you can still kind of see around the corner. They do still seem to be in that spot. The same will-o'-the-wisp that lured Seducius into a trap.
Me.
Yeah. Now, but there isn't one anymore in our walkway, right? That's just still there. But
Correct.
It's not really there.
Yeah, you guys,
Okay.
you managed to
We
kill
killed
that
that.
one.
Huh.
Maybe Thor can web this thing up so it can't attack.
The one next to you? Or
Oh,
Yeah.
after it finished its turn, by the way, it went invisible again. Just to put that out there in the world, I forgot to mention that.
Oh.
oh, good gosh.
You just saw it from
Damn
that
it.
big hit as you saw
I
it.
missed that.
So that was my fault. I forgot to say it. Yeah, it is invisible once again, friends.
Shit.
Dude, do I have...
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if you make it all the way out of the staircase. Like maybe there's maybe it's easier to see out in the sunlight. Maybe it doesn't want to go in the sunlight. I don't know.
Yeah, let's just try to get out as far as possible. I think I don't want to go exploring by myself in this place.
Okay, so you are easily outside, we'll say. We'll just put you off the map for a bit. I assume there's nothing else you want to do at your turn. Just get outside as far as you can.
That should be good.
Okay. Seducius, that brings us to your turn. You feel this presence now near you. Can't see it anymore, but you can feel it, that it kind of ended in that space next to you.
So, since I can't see it, technically I couldn't do like dissonant whispers. I don't know where it is.
Does
Right.
Dissonant Whispers require you to see, or does it require the creature to be able to hear you?
Just to hear.
So it could hear you. You don't have to see it.
Okay. Yeah, I can only do a first level. He's on my second level, so I'll cast a first level dissonant whisper.
It
towards
fails. It does fail its save. So go
Okay.
ahead and roll your damage on that. So 3d6 damage to this thing.
That's an exclamation point.
Roll space 3d6.
Okay.
Nice. You get another big hit, and it's again shrieking in pain as it does this. For a second, you see it in front of you, and then it flashes invisible again. Anything else on your turn you want to do?
No.
So that'll bring us to Sless. Your turn again, sir. You're not sure
well, I
where
feel like
this
I
thing
wanna-
went.
Yeah, I need to move, right?
It's kind of up to you.
Well, I definitely want to go and follow and see, to make sure that Torin is okay. So I don't know how far I can move
You
compared
can
to
move
where I am.
to about here. When you start to reach this point, you feel that rush of air again.
Oh, so he's still around.
You don't feel like you'll be able to pass that space.
Gosh, what are you doing?
Give me a place to sit.
Yeah, well, because I took his blanket, so. Well, I might as well do another attack.
Okay.
I will do. Let me do first level. Well, shoot. I'm just concerned about hitting. Well, yeah, I'm gonna do a first level burning hands, and I can kind of aim towards the side there, so that way I'm not.
If you just want to avoid that in general, you could do first level catapult. It's just a straight line.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so that's on me. He's got to beat 13. He does succeed that, so it does miss.
Well, there we go.
So that'll end that. That brings us back to Flux's turn. Kind of seeing that your partner in crime is feeling some monstrosity near it. You also are going to have a hard time getting through that corridor since Seducius is kind of blocking the way to jump over the thing.
Push Knuckles out the way. I'm running. Thanks for the help. I'm out.
If you want to try and jump it, you can try. I'll give it to you.
Push past me.
I'm gonna try to push past him because
Roll.
he went out of his way to save me. I'm only at 9 points. I'm at least gonna try to get out of here so that I don't get hurt anymore.
Roll an athletic check at disadvantage to see if you can jump this thing with the tight space that you have.
There's a blockage in the base of the shaft area over here.
I have to roll it again.
Yeah, you do.
I cannot.
The good news is it's not very hard, but
Not.
it's gonna be a little harder because you have to get past him.
I should have moved.
Damn it. It's a roll, right? No.
You
No.
just hit one. You just misspelled athletics.
Just JK.
Nice. All right. So yeah, easily you're able to get over it and kind of make some ground there. And I'll say you end up there. And if you'd like to keep going, you can get as far as that.
Yep. I'm gonna go right there.
Awesome. Zendri, your turn.
Done.
Oh, actually, you know what's really funny? I've been moving you guys
I'm
incorrectly.
trying.
This is actually
Whoop.
you, and that's you. Grab the wrong character. My fault.
And it's only visible when it's hit, right?
It seems like it's only been visible for short seconds when you've hit it really hard.
Okay. I'm gonna attempt my melee or my mace again.
You're not. I mean, you can. Yeah, I'll say he's your ally. You can probably squeeze in the space next to Celeste, knowing that's where he had to stop. I'll say you were able to see that. So you want to try to hit it with your melee weapon?
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll. So it's going to be exclamation point attack space in quotes mace space DIS because you still aren't able to see it 100%. That hits. So it takes a bit of damage. As you kind of notice though that your weapon kind of slides through it. It doesn't feel like it's making full contact, so it doesn't take full damage on that. But that will now bring us back to the creature. Seeing that it can't get past Seducius in its way, is going to try to kill him. So he's going to roll to hit twice on this. First one misses. Second one hits. So you're going to take 10 points of damage. It just like shoves you and pushes that on you.
Damn.
Seducius, how are you feeling, by the way? Just so I'm keeping track.
Told you to run.
How do I feel?
Like, how's your life? How's your health?
Said?
Yeah, what's your...
Well, I was almost at full, so now I'm back down to 12, but it just updated. At 12.
Okay. 12.
Holy...
Just trying to keep track of everybody. Okay, so that will end its turn as it's still kind of trapped in this area between all of you. Torrin, you're outside of the building. What are you doing?
Can I take a short rest by myself?
No. Are you damaged?
No, I'm full.
Yeah, it's like, why? Fucking Torrin. I just want to give you inspiration for sticking to the dick that Torrin is.
Trying to stay in character, you know?
You're nailing it. You're nailing it.
I guess I could call using one of those stone things in to see how they're doing.
Sure. What are you like?
Bad. We're doing bad.
Because I can't really talk to you. I'm too far away, right?
Yeah, and you can't really speak as a spider.
Yeah. Oh, also, yeah. I'll just like go a little bit farther.
Okay.
Not like crazy far, but like a little bit more outside.
Okay.
Like
I'll keep
10 feet or something. Just enough away from the door, the entrance, where I can still see them come out, but I'm not like right at the door. Then I'll end my turn.
Cool. All right, Seducius, your turn, sir.
I'm gonna get out of the way.
Okay, so you want to try to jump this chasm.
So-
I'll say you do that easily because there's no real struggle there. You are leaving this thing's combat range though, so it's going to try to take a pot shot at you. Actually, I should ask, are you going to do anything else on your turn, or is it just you want to move?
Yeah, I'm just gonna move. I'm just gonna get out of the way.
Okay, then I would recommend that you take the disengage action. Which lets you leave someone's combat radius without taking attack of opportunity. Which means you can move all the way down here.
Okay.
Does everybody have that?
Yes. It's just an action.
Huh.
So you actually have other actions that are on your sheet that you can do. Like you can help a partner, which gives them advantage on their rolls. You can disengage, which is what we talked about. You can also dash, which doubles your movement. But what that means if you take any of those is you can't do other attacks or spells. Which is what Flux did earlier to try to avoid taking damage on her run out, that kind of stuff. So that will then put us back to Celeste's turn as you have this creature in front of you. You don't seem to be able to get past.
Well, I definitely want to try and run past this thing.
You won't be able to with where it is.
Oh, I can't? Would it be weird for me to run to the other side and try and open up the other sarcophagus?
It's certainly a thing you could try. Here's the thing. If you want to try to run and do something, you're going to have to allow the attack of opportunity to happen. Because you can't use your disengage action to get there without trying to slip away.
Oh.
So, if I can be candid, your best bet right now is probably to stay and fight and hope that he doesn't hit you back.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do Burning Hands this time.
Okay.
That's what I want. Yeah.
So he's got to try to make a save, which he does not. So what's the damage on Burning Hands?
3d6.
So go ahead and roll 3d6. You'll take full damage on that.
Come on.
So again, you hear this thing flicker in pain as he just kind of swirls and streams out. You see him for a brief moment as he goes through. This thing in that moment looks very pained, very badly damaged. And I think that will bring us.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, Flux, that brings us back to your turn. You still trying to GTFO?
Yeah, I am.
Also, you get out and are seeing a spider friend up there. You head in that direction.
Okay. Great.
Zendri, that brings us to your turn.
Everyone's trying to get over here.
It's still invisible?
Yes. But you have a pretty good sense of where it is based on the attacks that have been happening recently. You still roll a disadvantage, but you can tell that it's in front of you, and you're also not going to be able to get past. Because you're both in that space.
Can I do an inflict wound?
Yeah. Do you want to do it at second level again or first level?
Second level.
So go ahead and roll 1d20 plus 4. I need you to roll it at disadvantage, so one more time.
Damn it.
Sorry. The invisible stuff can be hard. Yeah, that misses. You're not able to hit it. I warned you. I warned you guys. That gets us back to the stalker. Now just kind of enraged at what's going on around him. Yeah, I think he's going to turn around and try to hit Celeste. So...
Bring it.
First... Celeste. He rolled a natural 20.
Oh, come on.
So he definitely hits you. And he does... I'm not gonna take the average because that'll straight up kill you. So I'm gonna be nice and I'm gonna just roll what it is. So 2d6.
What?
That's not great. Okay, that's a little better for you. So, hold on, 9. He does 18 points of damage to you as he slams into you.
Yeah, well, I'm about to hit this fool with Hellish Rebuke right now.
All right, there we go.
Yes.
So
3d10.
3d10. So he needs to do a save though, doesn't he, to see if it hits him?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's gonna be half damage anyway. So roll your damage, and I'll see if he makes the save. Because for you, it's 13. What'd you get on damage?
I'm doing it right now. 3. What did I say? 3d10.
So he did make the save, but half damage.
God.
But half damage of 15 is 8, and I don't normally share hit points, but he had 7 hit points left.
Yes.
So as he hits you, it just wallops into you. You're like, "Fuck!" And you like point back to him, and you just see this fire erupt around him. As you hear more than see this just like visceral scream, just this kind of trail off to nothing as he dies in shambles. And I wasn't bullshitting you. He literally had 7 points left.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I probably took like 95% of that fool's health points.
I will say you're really lucky on that critical. I didn't just give you the average, because the second roll he rolled real shit, and he would have I think one shot you.
Ugh.
Good job.
But the stalker is dead. There's more to
Yeah.
explore in here, or you can all escape
Yeah.
with your friends. Kind of
No.
up to you.
After that, I'm opening up that other sarcophagus. I'm ready to break that crowbar out again real quick.
All right. So yeah, you are out of combat at this point. Take the crowbar, roll at advantage since you're using the crowbar on there. You remember from last time though, these things are pretty heavy. It's gonna be tough to move out.
I know. Well, and I'm checking. What am I doing? Strength or what?
Athletics. Sorry, athletics.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm ready to go follow the other blue orbs and get some more treasure.
hey.
Nice. So yeah, you actually are able to like lift this one and push it back, kind of knowing a little bit more of the soft spots in there. Inside, you see the bones of another person, and inside it's basically the squire of the Lady Knight, but nothing seems to be inside this thing.
All right. Well, yeah, we're heading out then.
So
Who's still with me? Zendri's with me.
Zendri's with you. Flux is out. Zendri and Seducius are still inside the building. And as you guys kind of start walking out this way, again, you see the other passageways go in either direction. You do still see the flickering orbs kind of in and out of the hallways that kind of like try to entice you into either of those areas. One area seems to be missing an orb. You also aren't being attacked at this point, so you do feel relatively safe-ish. Nothing.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind exploring that other area that doesn't have that orb in its way.
Okay. Two of your party members are outside of this tomb. Are you guys going to try to call them back, or just let them like fritter about?
Who is it? Torin and Seducius?
Torin and Flux.
Torin and Flux? Yeah, I think I think we can leave them outside for a few minutes here, and let's go explore.
So which way are you going? Are you going towards the orbs, or are you going?
No, we're going east.
Okay. So you head in this direction, and as you get through this tunnel, you do see that it extends a little bit and kind of leads into an open space. And in this open space, you do see, where are you, Celeste? You do see 2 sarcophagi on either end of those things.
All right, here we go again. Let's open them up.
Let's open it.
There we go.
So yeah, I need you to roll that. I need you to roll that athletics check again.
I hope there's a blue orb in there.
Do I do it at advantage or no?
If you're using the crowbar, yes.
Come on.
Oh my.
Hey.
While they're doing this,
That didn't give you. I don't think it rolled. Try it again.
Oh, I got it again.
Yeah, you were reading the last one.
Yeah.
Can Torin and I take a short rest while they're doing this?
I'll allow it. They're going to be a while. I'll say yes.
Oh.
Okay, dope.
So if you
There
want to
you
reroll
go.
your dice.
Ask and you shall receive.
Ooh.
Okay.
Amen.
So you do take this crowbar and you lift on it, and you're able now. You kind of found right where to pry it up, and you open this thing. And as soon as you open this thing, you just see this cloud of just like smoke and dust just kind of billow out.
Oh.
And now you're kind of breathing this in. Was anyone else in this room with him, by the way, just so I know? Who else checked this space? Should have asked earlier, but here we are.
I mean, I'm kind of close, aren't I?
I mean, yeah,
It's up to you.
I followed flat.
Okay,
I
so
followed flat. So I can dump.
all of you in this space take 14 points of damage from this
What the- I'm
corrosive
dead.
air that shoots up out of it.
No.
I told you to run away. I told you to run away, and you wanted to stay, and you didn't want to listen.
Why does no one check for traps? I feel like I made it very clear there were traps in this place.
Check for traps.
Any
What?
defense.
I feel like
You're
we're in a
sleeping while I'm dying.
I feel like we're in a freaking pyramid in Egypt right now, like finding King Tut, like getting a booby traps.
It's kind of how it's going. Zendri, I think you're the only person alive still in this area
Yeah.
as you take damage from this.
Yeah.
So Sless is unconscious, yes.
Yes.
Okay, and Seducius is unconscious, yes.
Yes.
F and A.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so Zendri, it's kind of up to you. What do you want to do here? You do have, I think, a couple of
Back to life.
spells. Also, just so you know, the other thing you could do, if you don't want to heal them and you don't want them to have to roll death saves, you can roll a medicine check to see if you can stabilize them if you've got any like bandages on you. And so they won't be unconscious they'll still be unconscious, but it would stop them from dying if you wanted to go and like get your other friends and say come back.
I'm pretty sure secretly she wants to put us in the sarcophagus, put the lid on in case she lost track of us.
Yeah, but you could also choose to expend the rest of your spell
It is
slots.
up to me.
You could choose to use the rest of your spell slots and cast like Cure Wounds on them and heal them.
Yeah, I'm. Fudge. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Well, so wait, before I do that, I don't have like. Where would I see if I had bandages?
In your equipment.
I don't think I don't have any then.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't. Oh, lovely. All right. Well, I'm using
Like
my
they-
spell slots, and I'm going to heal y'all because if I leave you, you're gonna die.
All right, go ahead and roll 1d8 plus 2, and that's how much health they get. Okay, you guys both get 8 points of health back, and you're no longer unconscious and die.
Hey.
There you go.
Now
Hey.
get out.
Yeah, get the hell out.
All right, so again, your options are you can go south, you can go west, or you can get out. It's up to you. There's definitely more in here. It's kind of up to you if you want to sate your curiosity or if you want to escape.
Well, so how do we check for booby traps?
You basically just say, "I would like to check for traps,"
Okay.
and
I would like to check
and-
the trap.
Don't I have a fine trap?
and yes, Zendri has find traps. And here's kind of the thing: at this point, you are out of spell slots. I don't think I think find traps is a second level one. You do.
Yeah, fuck.
You do. You do have one second level spell slot left, I think. No, you did twice, so no, you don't. So you've got a few choices you can have. You can guys try to take a short rest, heal up a bit. That won't recover any spell slots here. Or you could try to risk a long rest, which is sleeping in here, and see how it goes. It's kind of up to you how you want to handle it. Or you can leave. Fleeing is an option too. You can literally do anything you want. It just depends if you are curious to see what else is in here, or if you're like, I want to escape. Totally up to you.
I think based off of how you guys are, the shape that you're in, we dip.
Escape. Rest
I mean,
outside.
unless you want to die.
Or go full sin.
I see Seducius' like face. He's like, I want to know what else is in here.
I feel like there's shit in here.
All right, hang on. So I know we don't have any spells left to find traps, but what's the other way we find traps?
So it kind of depends on the trap that's there. So like out of game context, it depends on the type of trap. Some traps are magical, and so I would have you roll a certain check to see if you can kind of notice that. Some traps are physical and hidden, and I would have you roll like a perception check or an investigation check. You can also say like how you want to look for traps. Like I have a stick or a pole, and I just want to tap the ground to see if anything seems weird, and I would have you roll a check. And I might give you advantage depending on how you explain it. It's kind of up to you. Um, so.
But obviously, there's a risk of us triggering a booby trap while we're looking for it.
Correct. If you don't roll very well, you might not notice it. If you are doing a certain thing and it does trigger it and you're in that space, it might set it off. It kind of depends on what the trap is. That's the portion of this that you don't know. That's where the is the juice worth the squeeze question comes up. And it kind of depends. To be candid, there are more rooms in this space. Some of them may or may not have treasure. So up to y'all.
Okay,
I mean,
maybe.
Zendri said we should probably leave. Maybe it's not a bad thing to leave, join up with Torin and Flux, and maybe do a little long rest, and then come back down after we heal up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with relative safety, you guys are able to get out of the area. So you guys get outside of the burrow. Now that you're no longer dead. How much health points? Well, it won't matter. You're about to take a long rest. Outside of the burrow is pretty safe. Xanth is still out there. You see him watching Vincent. Kind of looks up and he goes, looks like that was very tough for all of you. He kind of like squints a little bit. Was your mission a success? Will you be able to follow me to my home and end these half-orc menaces? Or do you need more time?
We need some more time. We're pretty we're in bad shape. We're gonna take a little rest.
Of course, I can see that. Yes, I can see.
Yeah.
I can see you've had a bad way. Perhaps if you rest here, I can travel with you when you're done.
Okay, yeah, that would be amazing. We may end up going back into these caves one more time. We found some cool treasure, but it just took a lot out of us before we go help you. Some of these things might help us kill these orcs for you quicker.
Oh, if it will help, then I definitely believe that you should do that. So he kind of lets you off. He kind of goes off into the woods a little bit now that he sees you're back out with Vincent. Kind of goes off. And you guys are able to take a long rest. You see this area seems pretty safe. It doesn't seem like anything is following you out here. Are you going to take a long rest here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it's okay to take a long.
Let's do it.
So everyone go ahead and hit that long rest button and reset all of your stats. Is anyone keeping watch while this is happening?
Yeah, the central.
Due to my guilt of starting this whole mess, I'm gonna keep watch.
I mean, hey, nothing for nothing, but maybe the person, maybe the person who should take the first watch is the person who doesn't need rest. as the DM trying to teach you the right strategies to D&D, I might suggest that. So Torin or Zendri should probably do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you need to heal, crazy.
Zendri, while everyone kind of goes off to sleep, you do notice the sun has gone down. It was dusk when you got out, and as they're sleeping for a bit, it is full nighttime. Roll a perception check for me.
Mm-hmm.
You do actually notice something because it's pretty apparent since you guys are on top of it. Those will-o'-the-wisps have come outside of the bar now, and they're just flickering up at the top near the entrance, just flickering. They don't seem to be hostile. They don't seem to be engaging you, but they are flickering up there, almost kind of enticing you again to come out.
Yeah, I'm staying where I'm at.
Okay. I think that's all we see for the time being. Am I right, Matt?
It sparks curiosity, but that's for later.
Yeah, they don't have anything else they can
when
do.
I know that my team has rested.
You kind of transfer off. It's now the morning. It's been a full time. I'll say Zendri went and got sleep and switched off to Torin. Nothing for the remainder of the evening seems to happen. It's now the next morning. You guys are all rested up and back at full health and reset. Anything you guys would like to do from here? Are you going to go back into the Barrow? What's your game plan?
I mean, we're going back in.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just reset everybody here.
Round
Because
2,
we're,
go.
we're a little crazy. You know.
All right. So, question
Follow the light.
for the group. It's about midnight.
Yeah.
Are we feeling like we want to pause here and reconvene? Or are we wanting to go in more? There's probably another like half hour to hour worth of stuff.
Yeah, it's probably a good stopping point so we can.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think that's
I'm
probably
sure we
reasonable.
have at least 2 more battles coming up, right, with those other orbs. So
You don't necessarily know.
At least
It kind of depends on how you handle it. I will say one thing that I will allow. Technically, it's a little bit of early because you haven't turned in the quest yet, but I'll say you completed it for the most part. You leveled up. You would have leveled up after you completed Logger's camp. So when we come back, we're actually going to go from level 3 to level 4. You guys stumbled into kind of a higher higher level space. That's just kind of part of the fun of adventuring. Sometimes you don't always know where you end up.
yeah, I think we all need about 40 more health points.
You're not going to probably get that, especially not useless since you're the sorcerer. But when we next reconvene, you're going to actually be level 4. Level 4 is going to require some homework because you get to choose from some more things. All of you will actually get a choice of some things. So I'll send you some stuff to look through. But we will do that for next time so you guys know. Rad.
So,
Nice game, everyone. Good stuff. A lot of combat in this one.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Lots of combat. Holy shit.
God, so just to give you some like that monster was the first monster you faced that had more than 100 health points.
And you couldn't see it.
And knock that baby out.
And you couldn't see it. And he had resistance to all non-magical attacks. So.
Damn.
It really would have fucked you up.
Good work, team.
you're welcome. I brought the excitement.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? You're welcome. That's what you have to say. Get out of here. Goodbye.
Seduce is in life, man. Seduce is in life. It's just how it's gonna be.
You're the one who got us in all this.
Unapologetically you, man.
Yeah, someone's got a nice new sword. We're going to have to figure out who's going to use it. That's the next big question.
I'm about to use it.
We can be continued.
For the next one. But guys, with that, have a good night, and we will adventure next time.